The following is a live special presentation on ESPN Classic.
Two programs who today fight for the right to enjoy the best season in their school's history. The Alabama A&M Bulldogs have won 9 games for the first time ever and have the top-ranked defense in the conference. Today they have the task of shutting down the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, Grambling State quarterback Bruce Eugene, who heads the most prolific scoring offense in all Division I AA. Hold on to your hats, everybody. The SWAC title is up for grabs. It's next. The SWAC Championship is on the line this afternoon, and what better place to play for all the marbles than historic Legion Field here in Birmingham, Alabama. Today, the Alabama A&M Bulldogs look for their first SWAC title. They take on perennial power Grambling State University. The Tigers are dreaming of a Black College National Championship. Well, this is how the SWAC broke down this year. In the East, Alabama A&M stringing together 6 straight wins to take that division, while Grambling, they ran the table, a perfect 9-0 SWAC record. That is how the West was won. So glad you could join us here at Legion Field alongside my partner, Andre Ware. I'm Eric Collins. Jay Walker will join us in just a couple of moments. Well, you think Grambling football, and it's such a rich tradition, so many wonderful names, so many fantastic seasons, but this year maybe just a little bit more magical than any other season before. 1 loss on the year for Grambling. It came on the road against a Division I-A team in Washington State. Besides that, they ran the table 10-0 against 1AA teams, and Andre, a big reason for their big success is the play of their big quarterback, Bruce Eugene.
Yeah, he has been nothing short of spectacular this entire season. 6-5 with Bruce Eugene out of the lineup last season, 10-1 with him in the lineup this season. You know, I'm not a stats guy, but no. 50 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions, 134 TDs for his entire career. The SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, Bruce Eugene, has been straight magical this season. I'll tell you what, I got a chance to see him in warm-up. I got a little fired up watching him throw the ball around.
Well, it's not just an offensive juggernaut for Grambling. They do it on defense as well. 5 of their 11 starters were either first team or second team all SWAC. They're fantastically well-rounded.
Yeah, and the heart and soul of that defense is the defensive line. The big guys up front, Matt Dewey, Jason Banks, Jimmy Zachary, and the stud, Jason Hatcher. 94 tackles for Hatcher, 4 sacks to go with that, and an interception. A lot of NFL scouts are drooling over that young man.
For Alabama A&M, they have a defense that will match Grambling's defense, punch for punch and tackle for tackle on the year. 9 wins for the first time ever in school history. A huge reason why they're Bulldogs, but they play like attack dogs.
Yeah, they are statistically the best in the entire SWAC in every category. Johnny Baldwin is their stud on defense. I mean, he has been spectacular this year. A lot of people argue that he should have been the Defensive Player of the Year in SWAC. Only one thing today, you get those linebackers matched up against Grambling's fast receivers out in space. Is like watching Kyle slide around on ice. They're out of their element, you know what I'm saying? But they will step up today. Alabama A&M better on both sides of the football than they were in that first matchup. It'll make for a classic battle.
We are excited to watch this one. Folks, if you have never seen the SWAC championship game, it is like a spectacle you've never seen before. Stick around, everybody. We're getting ready to kick this thing off. There's excitement in the building. The SWAC championship will be decided on this historic Legion Field gridiron here in Birmingham, Alabama. The Bulldogs of Alabama A&M against the Tigers of Grambling State. For more on the history of this great game and this fantastic conference, let's go down to Jay Walker. Jay, what do you have?
Fellas, this is the 7th ever SWAC championship game, and part of the reason for the formation of this game is because some of the traditional powers in the SWAC conference never had an opportunity for postseason play. You see, that's because the Division I AA playoffs start on Thanksgiving weekend, and everybody knows down in Louisiana, if you're talking about Thanksgiving weekend, you're talking about the Bayou Classic between Grambling and Southern University, a game which pays both schools schools $1 million apiece. And you're also talking about for Alabama State, a member of the SWAC Conference, hosting the Turkey Day Classic annually when they take on Tuskegee University. But since the SWAC championship game has been formed, only Alabama State is the only team besides Grambling or Southern to ever win the championship game. Alabama A&M has been in this game 2 times before. Both times they took a loss at the hands of Grambling State University. For Coach Anthony Jones and staff, they're hoping today, the 3rd time in this game, will be the charm, and they can walk away as the victors of the SWAC championship game. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Jay. We shall find out. It is, well, the first go-around went totally against Alabama A&M. 44-0. Melvin Spears and Grambling State, they really had it going on. That was back in September 10th. And well, Grambling, they felt their oats that day, but it's been 3 months, so things could have changed.
Well, I tell you what, I got a chance to talk to Melvin Spears a little bit at practice yesterday and in their walkthrough, and there's this quiet confidence on that Grambling State football team. The guys, they don't get upbeat. They don't, you know, a lot of hurrah that goes on before a football game. Just nice, quiet confidence from the coaches all the way down and through the players.
Alabama A&M, they won the toss. They deferred. Grambling will start on offense. Keonquan Gray has the football, gets out close to the 26-yard line, and that is where that powerful offense for Grambling State will start their first possession. And, well, their first possession is going to begin and end with Bruce Eugene. He is as electric as a performer as you're going to find in all of college football.
Yeah, that number right there. 50 touchdown passes on the season for Bruce Eugene has just been magical all season long. The Tigers realize they got to protect Bruce Eugene in order to have success on the football field offensively. He has been the spark plug for this offense.
In 9 consecutive games, he has thrown at least 4 touchdown passes. That's tremendous, folks. Out of the shotgun. He wants to throw on first down, and he wants a whole bunch. Throws a dart. It's complete. Henry Tolbert with the catch out close to midfield, a pickup of 23 yards. Offensively, this is the way that Grambling State lines up. Ab Quan, he's the lone back in the backfield on most times for Grambling. Rogers is the fullback, and we're going to see probably 8 or 9 different receivers throughout the course of the game. Up front, they're very solid at tackles with Banks and Derek Governor on both sides. Quickly a handoff. Ab Quan has it. He's wrestled out of bounds after a gain of a pretty good gain. Call it 4. Defensively, Alabama A&M, they're electric, the best in the SWAC. There's their front 4. We talked about Johnny Baldwin. He is the keynote player on the defense at that linebacker spot. And in the secondary, all of those guys run very well. Corey Harden is the fastest player in the team. Stephon Tucker at the other corner, no slouch himself. Second down at 5, we're going to give a call. Back to the ground, they stay. Once again, Ab Quan with the carry, pickup of 2. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and short.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Anthony Jones from Alabama A&M, he said he wanted to make Grambling go the length of the field. Don't shorten it up. Make them have long, long drives. I'll tell you what, the first play of the game, the first one Bruce Eugene hit Henry Tolbert, they went zone coverage. I don't think you can sit back and play zone against a guy like Bruce Eugene. You got to come after him a little bit, be a little more aggressive on defense. If you sit back there, he's such an accurate passer, he's so poised and has outstanding football knowledge. He will pick you apart.
Confusion, trying to hand it off. Ab Quan muffed it. Alabama A&M says they have it. And they do. The Bulldogs catch the first break of the day. They get a turnover, and they'll have the football at midfield.
It looked like just a fumbled exchange between quarterback and running back. So this is a little underneath handoff. Frees it right there. Not shoring the football up and puts the thing on the ground. Tell you what, it looked like Ablona was gonna have an opportunity to was gonna have an opportunity to get the football back. And Alabama State right there to kind of squeeze it out. They're set to go on offense.
Johnny Baldwin jumps on the football, and the first turnover of the game goes the way of Alabama A&M. That's the breaks that they're going to need if they want to stay in this game. It's such a powerful Grambling State offense. First pass of the game for the Bulldogs is a dangerous one. Kelsey Luke trying to swing it out on the perimeter, almost had it picked off. Well, this is how the Alabama A&M Bulldogs line up offensively. Nick Luke is the brother of the quarterback, Kelsey Luke. Jaquez Pyatt, very good athlete at fullback. A lot of different receivers. You see action. Francis and Robinson start. Tight end is Charles Moody. The tight end is a big part of their offense. Offensive line, they have grown throughout the year. Regis and Johnson on the left side. They are both all SWAC performers. They will be relied on in short yardage situations. They will try and run left side behind those big fellas. 2nd down and 10. Hand off inside. We talked about Pyatt. He gets his first carry. Short gain, maybe 2 yards, maybe less. Defensively, Grambling State, the defensive line. Hatcher and Dewey, both all-conference performers. Zachary and Banks, good at plugging up the middle. Linebackers, all-conference player there is the middle backer, Dimitri Carr. He was 2nd team all-SWAC. And in the secondary, Greg Fassett, 2nd team all-SWAC performer, and Jermaine Mills was a 1st team performer at free safety. Marcus Minn, all he did was he was a transfer from the Pac-10 good program, University of Oregon.
Yeah, you talk about Fassett as well. Fastest player on defense, 4.4 speed, and he almost had an interception the very first play on defense.
3rd and 9. Kelsey Luke has his pass caught over the middle. 1st down yards. The completion is going to bring the football all the way out close to the 40-yard line. Emmanuel Edwards with that catch, a pickup of 12.
Well, they didn't have Emmanuel Edwards a couple of weeks ago, but I'll tell you what, he brings a lot to this Alabama A&M offense. You watch him right here, just an in route and freeze it right there. Watch him look with his body right there in front of the defender, Greg Fassett, to using his body, shielding the defender off and coming up with a catch. I tell you, it was fabulous coverage on the part of Greg Fassett, but it was a better play by Emmanuel Edwards.
Again to the sky. Pass is complete. Anthony Mitchell tries to spin out of a tackle. He is down at the 30-yard line. Good pickup on 1st down. Give him 9 yards.
Eric, the chess match has started already for Alabama A&M. You know, they are known for running the football, pounding it in there, and Grambling State actually thinking, well, they're going to come out, run the football, try to run some clock. They know they can't get in a scoring match with us. First play of the ball game, a pass, big completion on 3rd down for a 1st down, and then there on 1st down, another pass. Big chess match already in this football game.
First goal round against Grambling, nothing was working offensively for the Bulldogs. 2nd down and 1, your favorite play in the playbook.
Just run a quarterback. I'll take a shot here, though. This field position with just short yardage, this is a situation where you like to take a shot. Well, they're going to...
2nd and 1.
Yeah, a little false start here is going to bring you back.
2nd and 1 didn't last very long. Call it 2nd and 6.
Well, the right side of the Alabama A&M offensive line may have moved just a little bit early. He's actually in the backfield. You watch him right here. Just a little flinch. He's going to get the officials' attention. Nick Luke, the tailback. Boy, he's back there watching everything. He shouldn't be jumping, especially you're moving the football 2nd and 1. Run anything you want to in the playbook.
Again to the skies. Kelsey Luke completes it. Again, Anthony Mitchell. 2 consecutive catches. Luke to Mitchell, pickup of 7 and another 1st down.
And they really like him. Stan Connor, the offensive coordinator, loves Anthony Mitchell. He's just a freshman, but I tell you, they said he's got great upside. Good size, 6'1", 196 pounds, can run out of Oxford, Mississippi. We were there a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oxford High School.
You can find some good catfish there.
I tell you what, a great catfish down in Oxford, Mississippi.
Alabama A&M, they have never won the SWAC championship. Just joined this conference back in 1999. Luke on the roll. He's got fantastic feet. Uses the arm. Complete to Timothy Robinson. Close to the 10-yard line. Another big gainer for the Bulldogs. A pickup of 18.
Yeah, Kelsey Luke is an athletic quarterback at 6 foot, and you get him out on the edge, you're going to see him just sprint out around here, and he's buying himself some time to just find his receiver down the field, just watching him, eyes down the field, and there, right as the receiver hooks up, he's right on time with the football. I'll tell you what, it is harder to beat a team 2 times in a year because they know the changes, Alabama A&M, that they need to make. Grambling State staying status quo pretty much. Alabama A&M has made all the right adjustments early in this football game.
Kelsey Luke hands off to his brother Nick Luke. Flag flies. Nick gets down close to the 5-yard line. We'll have to sort this one out and see if it holds up.
I'll tell you, I like the play calling so far. Oh, this is going to be offsides against Grambling. The play calling so far in this football game by Stan Connor. He's had a while to sit and think about what happened the second week in the season for Alabama A&M, or the second game against Grambling for them. And I'll tell you, he has made all the right adjustments. The mix of run and pass has been fabulous early in this football game. Boy, stay tuned. This is going to be a good game here.
7, offside, still first down. Please reset the clock to 10:03. Please reset the game clock to 10:03.
Well, big reason for the success on this drive is number 9, Kelsey Luke. 4 for 5 passing for 45 yards. Nice controlled passes, and they have moved methodically down the field.
Yeah, he was transferred out of Auburn. He's behind Jason Campbell for a while, and he left there because, you know, playing time basically. Thought about going to Tennessee State and talked with the coaches here at Alabama A&M, and it was a match made in heaven. He is their guy. You know, when I talked to Anthony Jones, the head coach, he said, well, the first time we played Grambling, we were going through a lot. The offensive line wasn't solidified. We didn't have a quarterback that we could really hang our hats on right away. And all of a sudden, after the maturity started to take place of this football team, Kelsey Luke started to play better and asserted himself. He is now the leader of this Alabama A&M football team.
First down at 5. The pitch down. Tamar Scott, his first carry of the game, brought down rudely, but he gets ever closer to the goal line. Joshua Bester hit him, but it's going to bring up second down and about 2.
Yeah, the outside linebacker, Bester, he's first year as a full-time starter, but what way to get to the football on behalf of Bester. Right here, you see him closing from inside out, stop it right there, and then he's just going to come through it. I mean, bringing the pad level, getting underneath the running back. Well, I tell you, just stopping him in his tracks.
Nick Luke back in the game as the deep back. They hand it off to him. Tries to go between the tackles. Flags down on the field. He inches his way down to the 1.
Well, you wonder if it's offsides again. But just mixing up a lot of things. Throwing on first down, running outside, back inside with Nick Luke. I'll tell you, fabulous job of calling plays and keeping Grambling State off balance. That big defensive line. They don't know where it's coming from right now. The most frustrating thing on defense for guys, not knowing where the football is going.
Maybe a decision here whether or not to take the penalty.
Offside, defense number 56. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
David Hicks, the left end, he comes in and gives Jason Hatcher the all-everything left defensive end for Grambling State a blow. Well, I'll tell you, Alabama A&M working at point-blank range.
First and goal. Luke has it. Touchdown, Bulldogs. I'm not sure whether these Bulldog fans could have written a better script for the way they wanted this game to start.
This is a different start altogether. Antonio Regis, Jeffrey Johnson right there getting low, getting tremendous push. Big John Smith, the tight end. And Nick Luke just getting under everybody else and pushing his way into the end zone. Fabulous start to this football game for Alabama A&M.
Jose Osorio has his kick partially blocked, and it's off the mark. So, kind of a surprise there. Melvin Spears, his team, they're reeling though right now. It's 6-0. Just getting started here, first quarter of the SWAC championship game. Alabama A&M, they've made the trek down from Normal, Alabama, which is just outside of Huntsville. They've come about 80 miles and they've enjoyed their trip to Legion Field thus far against Grambling State. They score in their first possession. They missed the extra point, but they're still up 6-0. And look at this, the first time these two teams played, 18 plays, 7 yards in the first quarter. Already today, a 52-yard touchdown drive.
Well, they were totally dominated in the first matchup early in the season, but I'll tell you, when you talk to Anthony Jones, the head coach of Alabama A&M, he said, hey, we were young. We didn't really have an identity yet. As this year has gone on, they finished winning 8 of the last 9 football games. They have solidified a lot of spots on this roster.
Antoine Gray, his second kickoff return, he is blasted, brought down at the 28-yard line. Well, the last time these two teams played, It was 3 months ago, September 10th. This game was played at Grambling Robinson Field, and everything went the way of the Tigers. Bruce Eugene, he was electric. 4 touchdown tosses for him. The offense rolled, picking up 44 points, and the defense did its job as well, pitching a shutout. 44-0 the final score. You can't dominate a team much more than that.
Yeah, I tell you, and they were young in the secondary as well. Alabama A&M and Bruce Eugene basically had his way in that first matchup.
So, Grambling back on the field offensively. Carey, Ab Quan with the football out across the 35-yard line. Good first down yards for the tailback, Ab Quan from, well, he's a senior. And once again, the offense moving quickly for Grambling. They don't spend too much time in the huddle. 4 receivers in the game. Eugene calls his own number, and the big fella in space out across the 45-yard line picks up the first down. Let's go back down in the field. Jay, what's going on?
Fellas, during that first drive for Grambling State, I don't know if you guys could see it up there from your angle, but down on the field as a former quarterback, I knew that the snap coming from center was coming in there about 100 miles an hour. And one of the last things you want to do is catch a hard ball with a lot of velocity on a day like today where it's very chilly and cold out here on the field. I think they made some adjustments, and it looks like the center snaps are a lot softer, giving the quarterback an opportunity to control the football better.
I don't know about Jay, but I like it coming in nice and soft, especially in weather conditions like this, both of us being former quarterbacks.
Quan with the football. Once again, solid run off tackle for Ab Quan. Pickup of 8 on first down before Johnny Baldwin can drag him to the ground.
Boy, Ab Quan, I tell you, he has good vision. When you talk to the coaches, he's more of a downhill runner, so they like to get him started back in that shotgun and just let him run downhill, kind of like an I formation tailback from that position. But they do a fabulous job running the football with him out of that shotgun formation.
Quan, 22 yards on 4 carries so far today. This is carry number 5, and he's going to pick up a first down as he gets closer to the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, he shows the ability to not only run inside in between the tackles, but to get outside and make some guys miss. They talked about his vision. Right here, you see him with following tight end Tim Abney, and then right there, stick that foot in the ground and get outside, carrying about 2 or 3 guys along the way. Grambling State on the move.
Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Eugene, again, looking for the big play. Wants a bunch. To no one in particular. Throws it back of the end zone. Incomplete. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Well, tonight at 9 Eastern, ESPN Original Entertainment presents Code Breakers, an ESPN original movie. That's coming up immediately after the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Capital One. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Heisman Trophy will be handed out in New York. Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Vince Young.
I tell you, in a good trio there in New York tonight. Tuned in, waiting to see. Get up to New York on tomorrow night, there for the dinner, and get to shake hands with a new fraternity brother.
Using the sidearm motion, Eugene completes it out in the flat to Clyde Edwards. Pick up a 5. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5.
You know, there's no conventional way of completing passes. I tell you, sometimes the throwing lane comes from a lot of different places. And you watch Bruce Eugene right about here. You see the pressure, stop it right there, and the ball's got to come low. If he comes here with a football, he's going to throw it right in the face mask. So you just kind of got to improvise a little bit and find a way to get the football out. Bruce Eugene, as good as any in the country at finding and making his own throwing lanes.
Need to get to the 30-yard line for the first down. Trying to throw it out quickly, and the pass is incomplete. Looked like it stunned Clyde Edwards. He had it and then dropped it. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, he led the team as a true freshman in receptions, and in the Bayou Classic had an 83-yard touchdown. But there, it just looked like he lost his footing trying to time the screen up, and he has got speed to burn. They love getting him involved in the screen game, getting him outside on the edges. But boy, I tell you,
They're going to go for it, Jan.
Yeah, a long field goal, but I don't know. I take the chances and punt this football. Don't be surprised with a quick kick or something here.
need to get to the 30-yard line. 5 receivers in the game. Eugene has a man open, and it's complete. Clyde Edwards with the football and the first down. Pickup of 18 yards on 4th down.
Boy, and that just that breaks your back, because he had tremendous pressure. Lieutenant Dukes was coming in from the edge on the right defensive end, and you'll see him show up right there, as well as Kevin Lockhart. And they get to Bruce Eugene, but he'll hold the football, sit in that pocket and read coverage out, allowing his receivers to work into an open area. In a down distance like that, you got to come after him, because if you allow him to sit back there, he will pick you apart.
Once again, empty backfield. Eugene taking the shotgun snap by himself. He has 5 receivers at his disposal. Looks left, throws middle of the field too high, looking for George Piggott. And the pass sails out of the back of the end zone. Flag is down on the field, and it's going to be roughing the passer against Alabama A&M.
Well, it looks like they go just a little bit low on the legs of Bruce Eugene after the play. You see him here reading out coverage, 3-deep zone, and he's going to find it right in the weakness of the zone, who's right up the field, and that's way too late. I mean, that is way too late.
Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, Christopher Traylor, he leads the team in sacks, 8.5, but that's the weakness of the field, right up the seam there. Bruce Eugene, as good as there is at the college level at reading coverages and sorting through things, finding the weaknesses in coverage.
So the penalty will spot the ball on the 11-yard line with that offense that Bruce Eugene leads. They don't need too many favors. Anytime you inch them close to the goal line, they'll take it. Eugene trying to wiggle out of trouble, can't do it. He is brought down close to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss on the play. Johnny Baldwin was Johnny on the spot to bring him down.
Well, I tell you, when you talk to Melvin Spears, he talks about Bruce Eugene, and you have a one-on-one matchup with a defensive back playing inside. Would like to have gone there, but great pressure, forcing Eugene to pull the football down. Boy, I'll tell you, Alabama A&M, they're bending right now, but they hadn't broken yet. Looks like they're going to come after him a little bit. Here, you got guys coming off the edges.
Eugene with time. Man wide open. Touchdown. Scrambling. Henry Tolbert with a touchdown.
Boy, it's like pick your poison. You sit back in zone. You hope to make, fool him a little bit and make him throw into coverage. Then when you come off the edges, if you're not close enough and a guy gets open, all it takes is a split second, and Bruce Eugene makes you pay. They go blitz coming off the edges with the outside linebackers, and Bruce Eugene gets just enough time to get the football out. And boy, he hits his favorite target, Henry Tolbert.
Tolbert, that's now 16 touchdowns on the year. That leads the team. Tim Manuel attempts the extra point, and Manuel misses the extra point. What are the odds? Both teams marched down the field, scored touchdowns, but then both promptly missed the extra point. So we're tied at 6 apiece. Bruce Eugene, 4 for 5, 30 yards and a touchdown on that drive. We're all tied up at 6. Doing what he does best. He throws touchdown pass number 51 on the year, and that ties this game at 6 apiece. SWAC championship being played here at Legion Field. A little over 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. 11 plays, 71 yards. And Bruce Eugene completing 80% of his passes, 4 out of 5 on that drive. Here comes the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M. Emmanuel Edwards has the football, and he's out to the 36-yard line.
Let's take a look at the touchdown pass. You see Bruce Eugene here sorting coverage out, realizes it's blitz, and buying himself just a little bit of time, allowing for the receiver, Henry Tolbert, to get himself open. You'll see it from back here. Watch the eyes, taking it one direction and then coming back. Boy, that is a sign of a guy that really knows how to operate in the passing game.
51 touchdowns on the year.
And counting.
Just 6 interceptions. That's not bad.
And counting.
Handoff. Tamar Scott tries the right side. Nominal gain on first down. He is brought down quickly.
Well, you'll see Alabama A&M mix it up. They start the football game with Nick Luke. He's more of the strength back, the pounding guy. And then they bring in Tamar Scott, who's a speed back. He's fast. He's kind of the home run hitter back there. Like to get him out on the edges, and that chess match there still continuing with Alabama A&M and the Grambling State defense running inside when you think they'll run Tamar Scott outside, run him inside between the tackles, trying to keep Grambling off balance.
Jacquez Pyatt in the game now in the backfield, and he has the football. And Pyatt lowers the head, and he's still going. Oh my, he's got a chance. It's a foot race inside the 20, down at the 11-yard line. Marquez Ben finally brings him down, but not before a 52-yard gain for the Bulldogs.
Boy, I tell you what, if he gets any kind of block from Tedrick Milton, his wide receiver on the outside, he's gone. This is the big fullback that you don't see him carry the football a whole lot. But watch right here. Pause it. If he gets any kind of block right there, he is off to the races, and it's a home run. No effort from my receiver. Take care of me, sweetheart.
Well, I think Jermaine Mills wants to have that the game tape burned right now. He was the man who got run over.
I mean,
in the secondary.
That's a classic example of why you play to the whistle, especially if you're a wide receiver, you're not getting the football. Hey, go block somebody. That's a touchdown if you get one block from Tedrick Scott.
Jacquez Pyatt, that is his longest run of the season.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
What was a 52-yard gain?
Tedrick
Comes down
Milton.
to a 47-yard gain because the penalty is going to mock.
Yeah, but watch the power of the big fella here. Jackie's playing right here in the middle and just going to lower his head right there. Boom, delivering the punishment in the run, and then steps out of it. And now it's off to the races. And right here, as a receiver, just get in front of it. All-out speed, no effort, just try. What is this with the hands? Come on, baby, get in front of somebody and shield him off. That's all you need, and it's into the end zone.
Movement on the line before the snap. This play is going to be blown dead before it gets underway. Looked like Roderick Johnson, the big right tackle, may have moved prematurely for Alabama A&M.
Boy, Alabama A&M has come out in this football game with a different purpose. I mean, they were thoroughly whipped and embarrassed in the first matchup against Grambling, and they made it known all week long that, hey, this is a different football team. Just watch us when we show up on Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Encroachment, defense number 95, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, just watch Jermaine Mills after he gets trucked here on this run. I'll tell you, right here, and then all of a sudden, hey, a little bit extra. Don't get up quite yet. Well, they're playing with a sense of nasty this afternoon.
They call that penalty on Grambling. They whistle it on Jason Banks. So the 5 yards that the Bulldogs just lost, they get right back. Back to first down at 10, ball at the 12-yard line. Nick Luke, the deep back. He has the football, tries the left side, and going nowhere. He is brought down in the backfield. Jason Hatcher making his presence known. Loss of 3. Alabama A&M, September 10th. These are some of the lowlights that they had. Just 34 yards rushing, considerably less than what Pyatt had just moments ago. They were sacked 5 times. They fumbled 7 times, losing the ball 3 times. And the penalty yards just kill you. 12 penalties for 120 yards. No reason why they lost 44-0.
All that you said? Bad day. Extremely bad day.
To the end zone. Pass flies out of the back, intended for Tedrick Milton. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long. Now, already, the offensive numbers pretty darn impressive for Alabama A&M.
You know, you compare it to the last game, 57 yards rushing, 45 passing, almost matching Grambling State in terms of passing yards there. And boy, I have been thoroughly impressed with the resilience of this football team so far. You have Grambling go down, put points on the board after you put points. They answer you, and then right back inside the red zone comes Alabama A&M on the very next drive.
The Bulldogs have up their sleeve on 3rd and 12. Luke calls his own number, loses the football, picked up along the left sideline, and pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line Grambling's going to have the football. Greg Fassett picked up the loose ball, and that's just what the Bulldogs didn't want to do.
Yeah, and Christian Smith basically saved the touchdown. The big offensive lineman, the right guard out of San Diego, California, right here going to try to run the counter with the quarterback, and Nick Luke is leading him up the middle with his brother. I tell you, and then all of a sudden it comes out. It's on the ground. Greg Fassett, one of the fastest players on this Grambling State defensive unit, right here. He's got a bad angle because Christian Smith saves the touchdown there.
Back for Grambling State. Picked up a fumble, rumbled 19 yards with it to give the Bulldogs, put the Bulldogs back on defense and give Grambling the ball back for the third time here in the first quarter. They'll start this drive at the 24-yard line. Eugene out of the shotgun. Left side, another bullet. That one is caught. Moses Harris with the reception. Let's go down on the field and Jay Walker. Jay, what's going on?
And one of the guys that Coach Spears and staff think has to play well today is Henry Tolbert, wide receiver for Grambling State. One, because he's playing in front of his hometown folks here at Birmingham, Alabama. He was a star wide running back at Parker High School just down the road from Legion Field. And also the fact that he feels like he was snubbed. He's the leading receiver in the SWAC conference, yet he was only named second team all conference. So he's definitely playing with a chip on his shoulder. And they said we expect big things from Henry Tolbert here today. And he's getting off to a great start, catching Bruce Eugene's first touchdown pass of the day. Back to you.
You know, Jay, I don't know how you can overlook a guy like Henry Tolbert. You see right here, we'll look at the replay here. Bruce Eugene smart with the football. No one's open, and he wanted a flag for a late hit here, but throwing it out of bounds. But going back to Henry Tolbert, how can you have over 1,200 yards receiving, lead the conference in touchdown receptions with 15, now 16, average 19.2 yards of reception, and not be named first team all SWAC?
I'm stunned.
I am stunned. I don't know how you can even come up with that.
Third down and 4. Pocket breaking down, and Eugene goes down. Defensive pressure applied and then enforced. Eugene is brought down close to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have to punt it away after a 3 and out.
Well, they're going to have to separate a few bodies in there. Bruce Eugene a little upset. Guys going in around his head. But I tell you, good defensive stand after the turnover by Alabama A&M. Talking to Anthony Jones, he felt like they had to capitalize on field position. They had it inside the Grambling red zone. Gonna come away with some points there, you thought. Then the big turnover. So they were winning or ahead in terms of field position. And then he also talked about minimizing turnovers in this football game. They had one. Now all of a sudden they give one back. So it's even in terms of turnovers, but they must capitalize whenever they have an opportunity to score on Grambling.
This will most likely be the final play of the quarter. And it's going to be a fake punt. Abquan has the football, and Abquan the first down. A big gainer left side. The Grambling State Tigers. A little bit of treachery. They used the fake punt to keep possession of the football. It's been a fantastic first quarter. The second quarter is just around the corner, everybody. Quarter of play here at the SWAC Championship. High game. Grambling still with the football because of this nicely executed fake punt.
Yeah, and you watch the block right here, freeze it right there, of Jermaine Mills securing the corner and allowing for Abquan to get to the outside and pick up the first down. I'll tell you, when I talked to Melvin Spears, he said, hey, we are coming here to win this football game. We're going to take out all the stops. Whatever we have to do to win this football game, we're going to do it.
Tigers 2 for 2 on 4th down in the first quarter. Eugene again showing off that big arm, throws a laser, incomplete. Looking for Reginald Jackson. That would have been a spectacular catch if made. He was double covered down inside the 20-yard line.
Lord, Bruce Eugene always composed in the pocket, and I'll tell you, his ball has such rotation on it. It is just fun to watch him throw the football. Look at that, just nice quick release. It comes off, and I'll tell you, it is moving. It's humming when it comes off his hands. Right there, right where only the receiver can come up with that reception, just on the outstretched hands of the defensive back. Boy, that one right there should have been caught.
Second down and 10. Handoff, Quan has it, and Quan brought down in the backfield. Good defensive play by Fred Solomon. Jimmy Richardson also in on that tackle.
Yeah, Jimmy Richardson right there in the hole one-on-one with Ab Quan. And I tell you, sometimes you tend to miss. But Jimmy Richardson right there securing the tackle, wrapping up, waiting on his buddies to show up and lend a helping hand. He didn't need one right there.
3rd down and 12, trying to keep this drive alive. Gene tries the right side. Throws so well on the move. Complete. Big gainer. Clyde Edwards out inside the 40-yard line. A pickup of 21 yards for Eugene and the Tigers of Grambling State.
Boy, the big fella just moving around, and I tell you, he uncharacteristically, you know, you see a big guy, you don't expect him to be able to move, and especially throw the football like this on the move. Look at that, how tight the spiral is. I tell you, as a former quarterback watching that, that's amazing to me. I mean, every ball, and he's throwing it with gloves on.
Wants a touchdown here. Ball batted away at the last moment. George Piggott was the man who had it and then dropped it. Jay, what's going on down on the field?
Right here you talk about Bruce Eugene, that tight spiral, you know, takes me back to the old days where the former quarterback said he's got one of those ooh-wee arms. Every time he throws the ball, he makes you say, ooh-wee, look at that tight spiral, look at the velocity, look at the gun. And Bruce Eugene is definitely throwing some ooh-wee balls here today in Birmingham, Alabama.
I tell you what, the one that he threw to Reginald Jackson down the middle of the field, it was unbelievable. Right in stride, didn't have to move, just put his hands up and bring it in. But I'll tell you, right on the money. Pretty much every time he throws it.
Designed run for Eugene. He is cut down. That's going to bring up a 3rd down for the Grambling State Tigers. When they talk about Bruce Eugene, they say what an easy ball he throws in terms of catching it. What do they mean by that?
Well, it's tight all the time, so you know you can get your hands on it and just pull it in. When you see a ball, sometimes if it's got a little flutter, it's hard to judge. You don't know if it's going to flutter high or if it's going to flutter and drop. When you see it and you can see the stripes nice and tight as a receiver coming at you, you know exactly where it's going to hit you in your hands. Fabulous throw of the football.
Under pressure, skips it out. And the pass is incomplete. Looking for Clyde Edwards. It was low, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 9. Tonight at 8 Eastern, college football's most prestigious award is handed out on ESPN. The Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Capital One tonight at 8 Eastern, followed by the world premiere of Codebreakers. I know you will be watching, my friend Andre, back in 1989, kind of a special Heisman Trophy Award presentation in your mind?
16 years ago, it was a special night, and boy, one that you never forget when you're a part of something like that. I mean, it is a memory, a lifetime of memories.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. Already, they're 2 for 2 on 4th down. Make it 3 for 3. The pass is caught. Henry Tolbert, the local boy, comes home and makes a heck of a grab on 4th down to pick up 17 yards for the Tigers.
Well, in a tight situation, as a quarterback, where do you go? You go where your bread is buttered, and it is to Henry Tolbert, who came into this game with 63 receptions. Going to short roll Bruce Eugene a little bit. Watch him set his feet here, step up in the pocket, and right on time with the football. Boy, that one's easy to judge. 61% Grambling was coming into this football game, converting on 4th down.
3 for 3 today. Blitz is on, throws high, caught. That's Henry Tolbert again. Made a nice acrobatic catch, tipped it up with the left hand, caught it with both hands after he controlled it. And saves a bad play.
Yeah, when you see Bruce Eugene, you don't think he has the footwork he has as a quarterback. Watch him, the short roll here, and just watch the feet. Right here, you see the pressure coming from outside. He'll step up, right there, buy himself some time, and under, and just composed. Look at that. There's no tension, just flicking the football. That's doing it the easy way. He has fun, and it makes it look easy.
There was a no-gain play, but it wasn't a negative play. Blitz is on. He was fortunate just to get it out of the pocket. This time, throws it out of the back of the end zone, looking for Moses Harris, and a flag is down on the goal line.
Yeah, Antonio Nelson's going to draw the flag here, the defensive back, trying to match up on Moses Harris in the middle of the field. And he got away with one, I think, about a couple of downs ago where the official let him slide. I thought it was pass interference, but there he gets caught. He's caught with the old hand in the cookie jar.
They're still talking about this.
It's pass interference, just trying to figure out how to mark it.
In the end zone.
Oh, bad news for Anthony Jones and his Bulldogs of Alabama A&M. It was indeed on Anthony Nelson. The ball was spotted on the 2.
Yeah, you'll watch him here get matched up one-on-one, and he basically shields the receiver Moses Harris from getting to the football, and you can't do that. You know, if he just kind of keeps away or stays away from the body contact, I don't think he draws the flag. But when they bumped right there at the goal line, the official's going to throw that flag every time.
On the 2-yard line, let's see if they decide to run it. They do. Have Quan with the football, and Quan is stoned. He didn't get in.
Yeah, a little different look offensively for Grambling. They go from having you spread out all over the field to go to more of a power set with 2 tight ends here on the edges, 2 backs to kind of, no lead back, but just to kind of secure the corner and allow Ab Quan some flexibility and, you know, from tackle to tackle. Good job by Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M, folks, that's not just SWAC rank. That's an all of 1AA. The last 5 years, they have been a dominant defensive team. They'll need to stiffen up their back right here. The 14th play of this drive. And Quan with the football.
I don't think he got there.
And again, he is stopped.
Well, I tell you, guys unraveling from the pile. Johnny Baldwin leading the way. Corey Harden in there as well, but you'll see when you get down here inside the 1, it's whoever gets lower. And you see some push there, but then all of a sudden some guys come free. You see the penetration, and they're able to stop Ab Quan in the air. Down there at the bottom as well, Lieutenant Dukes, who's played a fabulous first half so far for Alabama A&M.
3rd and goal. Eugene tries to jump over himself, and he didn't get in. They keep knocking on the door, but no one's answering.
I'll tell you who's answering. It's Alabama State is answering right now. I'm telling you, just getting low, not allowing for any push and getting tremendous penetration through the gaps of that big offensive line for Grambling. Look, this is some fabulous football being played right here inside the 5. This is a test of will. When you get down here, watch the push right there, just getting tremendous penetration and not allowing the quarterback, Bruce Eugene, to get any momentum going straight ahead. Fabulous job. And you see Marcus Black, the defensive back, in there as well. Number 90, Alasta Hill, getting low and fighting his way through there.
That defense for Alabama and A&M.
They're as good as advertised.
In the SWAC, in points allowed, run defense, pass defense,
total defense.
They racked up those numbers for a reason. They're pretty darn good. Well, tonight at 9 Eastern, ESPN Original Entertainment presents Code Breakers, an ESPN original movie that explores the notorious 1950 cheating scandal involving the West Point football team. Code Breakers, presented by Kay Jewelers, tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN, immediately following the Heisman Trophy presentation. Folks, we had a chance to preview that, and it's gripping television.
I have my copy. I'm going to watch it on my way to Nashville later on tonight. But, you know, it is something that's really got my attention, and you see all the promos for it. Boy, I can't wait to see that.
That's when Army football was the real deal. Doc Blanchard, Glenn Davis,
Yep.
Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside, Heisman Trophy Award winners playing for the immortal coach, Red Blake. Folks, get a chance. It's a good watch.
Any doubt that Grambling State was going to go for it here?
4th down and goal. They hand it off. Quan, this time, gets into the end zone. 2nd touchdown of the game for Grambling.
Well, they knocked and finally swung the door open. And it took just getting behind Jonathan Banks, big left tackle, and Charles Wilson here. They get tremendous push. Look at the blocks on the outside. Number 27, Terrian Rogers in there blocking for Ab Quan. But finally getting low and winning the battle of the trenches. That big Grambling State offensive line.
So Grambling, as a team, playing with the guts of a cat burglar. 4 for 4 on 4th down conversions already in today's game. And now they're going to go for 2. Maybe not a lot of confidence kicking the extra point. Tim Manuel missed a moment ago. Eugene, he is not going to get there. Plan, quarterback draw, and he is brought down basically at the line of scrimmage. So 2 touchdowns, but only 12 points for Grambling. Melvin Spears, his team goes 76 yards on 16 plays to take the lead.
But how many drops have been in there? I mean, you have, 3 or 4 drops that have gone in there where he's put the football right where the receiver has an opportunity to come away with a fabulous catch. Sometimes you have to make those spectacular catches for your quarterback.
Another kickoff into the end zone. Goes through the hands of Emmanuel Edwards, and he'll take a knee. And the ball will move out to the 20-yard line. 10 minutes, 7 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, Bruce Eugene makes it easy enough because he throws such a catchable football. But when you're a receiver and you have an opportunity to make a spectacular play, only a few of them in a football game, you got to step up. Look at the scoring drive here, 16 plays. And the reward was Abquan with a 1-yard touchdown run, 94 yards, and they do it in 1 minute, 11 seconds. I know that can't be correct.
So Alabama A&M back on offense. Kelsey Luke with the ball, rolls out right side, throws on the run, tries to sneak it over to Fender, looking for Timothy Robinson, but his pass goes incomplete. But a flag flies. Kelsey Luke may have been hit late.
It's a lot of that. You're talking about the SWAC championship game, and guys, the motors are still running with 10 minutes left here in the second quarter. You usually see a lot of adrenaline early in the football game, and it subsides about midway through the first quarter. Still running on full tilt in this football game. Right here, you see the big lick that Kelsey Luke takes from Jermaine Mills. Yeah, I mean, he got trucked, so he early in the football game, but he wants to pay back in a nice way.
Shouldn't be much of a surprise that we're seeing a lot of Hankies on this field. Grambling,
both teams
dead last in 1AA football in terms of penalties amassed.
I think Alabama A&M is somewhere like 95th out of 116 schools in penalty yardage.
First down run, Tamar Scott. Left side, not much doing. He's actually dropped for a loss, but another flag is down on the field.
Well, I'll tell you, when you get in a championship game and you start talking about turnovers and penalties, it's the team with the least amount that usually comes out on top.
Defense, number 37, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
And you talk about momentum killers. Grambling stayed with all that momentum, that big drive. By the way, that drive was 6 minutes and 5 seconds for 94 yards. But when you talk about that, and the momentum going into that, then you start seeing all these penalties and Alabama A&M coming right back down the field. Boy, that will kill your momentum faster than anything else.
Left side. Pass is caught. It's complete on the left sideline to Emmanuel Edwards. A big gain. He was able to stay inbounds, and he's all the way to the 35-yard line after a pickup of 25.
Well, he's their big play receiver, 4.4 speed, and watch him just drop it right over the outside shoulder. Kelsey Luke, the quarterback for Alabama A&M. Just all you need is 1 foot in right here over the shoulder. Just a nice separation right there. Oh, well, 2 feet are in. In college, all you need is 1 foot. He gets both of them down.
And before the next play is run,
Timeout.
we have a timeout on the field. Grambling, they want to talk about things defensively. Melvin Spears' bunch, the G-men right now, taking a couple body blows against Alabama A&M. 9:31 remaining, first half. Stick around, everybody. Championship game, Grambling on top of Alabama A&M, 12-6. And while the greatest receiver in the history of the SWAC, make no bones about it, it'd have to be former Delta Devil, Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice. How about this for career numbers? 301 catches, 4,600 yards, 50 touchdowns. We all know what he did in the NFL, but the dominance started right here in the SWAC, playing for Mississippi Valley State, catching a ton of balls from Willie Totten.
Tell you what, they put the P in pass, baby. They were throwing it around long before anybody started, actually thinking of throwing it to set up the run. They were doing it way back in the day.
First down at 10. Kelsey Luke fakes the handoff, rolls, Finds his man out of the backfield. Jaquez Pyatt down to the 25-yard line. Well, let's finish off that thought. The man throwing to Jerry Rice is standing by with Jay Walker. Jay, take it away.
Now, you talk about putting the P in pass. Yeah, you got it right, fellas. The Satellite is in the house. Really, Satellite Tide, one of the best nicknames in all of professional sports with a nickname like Satellite Tide. You're here representing Jerry Rice, who got inducted into the SWAC Hall of Fame this weekend. What was it like throwing the ball to Jerry Rice?
Well, I tell you, he make your dream come true. You know, a great receiver. Played just like he played in the NFL. He played like that when he was in college, and he was a great receiver to throw to.
You're no slouch yourself. You got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, some records that'll probably never be broken. You could throw the ball, too. When you look around now and you see that Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison connection, does that remind you of the good old days of you and Jerry?
Well, it did. You know, those guys are a great combination right now, and I think we had a great combination also back in the day. And, you know, it's fun when you, as a quarterback, can find a receiver that can go catch the football no matter where you throw it.
And you're currently the head coach at your alma mater, Mississippi Valley State. And congratulations for getting your first winning season in over 2 decades, probably.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm sure that the Satellite will get things back on track in a fast way down there in Mississippi Valley. It's going to be fun to watch and put that program together.
Pass is tipped, and it is intercepted. Grambling going the other way. No, we have whistles and stoppages of play. They're going to say that the pass hit the ground. The interception is waved off. Tyrone King had it, but they're going to say it touched the ground first.
And Tedrick Milton is a guy that put his hands on the football first from quarterback Kelsey Luke. You see it here. Just a nice quick little flip out there, and that's easy. I mean, that's just a lack of concentration. He's having a bad championship football game. I tell you, when Jaquez Pyatt broke, if he just throws a block, he walks into the end zone. There, nice easy catch. Take it for granted. You put it on the ground. Almost an interception off the shoelaces.
Melvin Spears, head coach of Grambling, none too pleased. He thought he had 6 on the board going the other way. 3rd down and 11. Throwing off his back foot, Luke completes it. Tamar Scott has it, but a flag flies, and we'll have to sort this one out.
I'll tell you, when this game first kicked off and started, Stan Connor, the offensive coordinator, did a fabulous job with the run and the pass mixing both. With the big run by Jaquez Pyatt, 52-yard run, they've been unable to run the football. Just 7 carries for 15 yards since that big run. And I'll tell you, now you're becoming predictable to this Grambling State defense. And you can't show your hand too early and become one-dimensional. You get in a scoring fest with Grambling, guess what? I don't want to be behind. I don't want to be in that track race.
Penalties going up against the Bulldogs. That means it's going to be 3rd down and 16. Put yourself in that huddle. What do you run if you're Alabama A&M on 3rd down and 16 from 31?
Well, a draw, a screen, because there aren't a whole lot of plays in the playbook that convert 3rd down and 16. The coach told me one time, if you're 3rd down and 16, you've messed up the first 2 downs, and it's nearly impossible to pick it up.
Luke switches fields and stumbles at about the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard.
Here's what you do in 3rd down and 16. In that situation, if you're Alabama A&M, you try to pick up as much of it as you can. Try to get half the yardage, because, you know, the field goal kicker, he's not going to be good from where they are on the football field. So you're not going to get the field goal attempt. You pick up as much of it, and then you go for it on 4th down, trying to pick up the other 8 yards.
Yeah, if they do decide to attempt a field goal, this is going to be a 47-yarder about, and it looks like Jose Osorio is going to run onto the field for Anthony Jones and Alabama A&M.
It's tough. I mean, he's already missed 1 extra point in this football game. His long for the year is 43 yards. He's had 1 blocked on the season.
And again, a whistle before the play.
Boy, and they're trying to pull the old okey-doke on Grambling.
That's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, march him back 5 yards.
Yeah, but then you get, but the surprise, the element of surprise has been taken away now. I mean, you're trying to quick kick them and pin them down in here inside the 10-yard line. Now they know you got to line up and punt it, or what you're trying to do.
So instead of lining up in field goal position and then quick kicking it, looks like Jose Osorio, who also is the main punter, is just going to punt it out of a standard formation. Jermaine Mills is back deep to receive the kick. He's at about the 10-yard line. Osorio averages 35 yards per boot.
His challenge here is to land it or kick it just high enough to get a fair catch or land it somewhere inside the 10.
It lands inside the 10 and goes out of bounds inside the 5. Great field position by Alabama A&M. They want to play that field position game, and they have now pinned Grambling deep inside their own territory. Well, we keep talking about the Southwestern Athletic Conference and some of the big names. How about this for big names? Not just football. You also got Lou Brock, the great baseballer. You got Willis Reed coming out of Grambling and then doing great things in the NBA with the Knicks.
We talked about Jerry Rice, John Stallworth, Mel Blount. Those were two of my favorites growing up because I grew up as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Mel Blount, as good as there was in coverage, you know, he was one of the guys, the big corners. He got all that started, the guys that were over 6 feet, and then John Stallworth. I mean, you just can't say enough about the job he did and the special career he had with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
On first down, Abquan with the football, lowers the head and gets out to about the 9-yard line. Jason, pretty good names coming out of the SWAC.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about John Stallworth. As a follow-up to that, the only number at Alabama A&M that's ever been retired is number 22, representing John Stallworth. But you also got guys that played the NFL in our generation, Andre, Jake Reed, Poncho Glover. You got Paul Tank Younger, who's one of the greatest of all time, Gary Big Hands Johnson, Albert Lewis, James Shaq Harris, who's now the general manager for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and these are just folks from Grambling State University. Then you start tossing Harold Carmichael in there from Southern University and Willis Reed. And if you want to talk about A&M again, you also got Big Ruben Studdard, the American Idol, who went to Alabama A&M. So the SWAC is doing everything, don't you think?
I'll tell you what, doing it all, baby, doing it all.
Keontae Gray tries the right side, and he's going to pick up enough yards to pick up the first down for the Tigers of Grambling.
What a big hit by Marcus Black. I think that's his 7th tackle on the afternoon. The free safety getting a lot of action. Came into this game with 50 tackles and 3 interceptions. Well, he's getting a workout this afternoon.
Arian Rogers now in the game. Single set back behind Bruce Eugene. And fake it to him. Little trick play coming around inside, using some speed. Landry Carter, his first carry of the game. They like him for quick bursts.
Boy, a little misdirection, and I tell you, a well-designed football play on the part of Grambling State Sammy White, the offensive coordinator. You're going to see the misdirection right here, and then the underneath handoff coming back. Look at this, and look at that running lane outside as he hands the football off underneath. Fabulous design play. That's a well-designed football play. Getting everybody flowing one direction and then coming back the other.
Inside, Arian Rogers has the football, and he picks up 2 yards on first down. Jay, what's going on?
I know the Grambling fans watching this game at home must be pleased with everything they're seeing, because when you see Grambling come out in that wing tee, that's the same formation that Eddie Robinson made famous for 408 career victories. So they're mixing it up with the pass, and they're also paying tribute to the past with Eddie Robinson coming out in this wing tee when they had guys like Trumaine Johnson and Jake Reed. And you got to think Charlie Joyner played one of these in positions, and he was a wing back in the wing tee. So they're doing it all, and they're clicking on all cylinders right now, fellas.
Well, their offensive coordinator was one of those wings as well. Sammy White was one of the greats playing for Eddie Robinson. Now he's calling the plays. So it's very easy to tip the cap to Eddie Robinson, because Sammy White, basically a continuation of Eddie Robinson. Henry Tolbert makes that catch.
Well, you saw him come out in the formation 4 wides, 5 wides at a time at some point in this first half. And then here they've just gone back to some old home cooking. You see the wing tee. That's why right there you nickname it the wing tee. You get some motion in here, and it is a misdirection offense. Believe it or not, Eric, it's what I ran in high school. The old wing tee under Dub Ferris, my high school football coach.
Do you have a face mask on your helmet?
Hey, I'm not that old, big fella.
Eugene flips it out, left side, pass is complete. Landry Carter, their explosive speed player out on the edge, gets out to the 39-yard line. And they have an injury down there.
And that's what you got to have when you run the wing tee. You mentioned it, speed, quickness, because of all the misdirection. When you get a team flowing one way, you got to have the speed and quickness to hit them when they're off balance, coming back the other way. And Grambling State, I'll tell you, they do it as good as anybody offensively.
Sammy White played in a Super Bowl with the Minnesota Vikings back in the Bud Grant era. Fran Tarkenton.
Ahmad Rashad.
Oh, sure.
On the other side.
Chuck Foreman. That's good offensive players. After a pickup of a couple, 2nd down and 8 Gene under pressure. Moves up in the pocket. Flips it out. Flag is down. Henry Tolbert has the football. Scampers inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 24 if it holds up.
Now I think it's coming back. It's going to be holding on the left tackle, Jonathan Banks, for Grambling State. But boy, Bruce Eugene, if you think, you know, a lot of people, the scouts maybe knock him because of his weight, he can move. I mean, he has got good football speed at the weight he is right now. And I don't know.
Offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
There aren't a whole lot of guys that can move around and certainly throw the football in college football like Bruce Eugene. But right here, you're going to see left tackle Jonathan Banks right there. Once he's beaten by Lieutenant Dukes, who's having one heck of a first half here. But you see the athletic ability of Bruce Eugene stepping up in the pocket. He's got guys wrapped around him, and he's still able to just flip the football out with accuracy. Always looking down the field. Eyes always down the field, trying to find his receiver.
That's now 5 penalties for Grambling for 40 yards. And another flag flies before this play even got started. The whistle blows it dead. Teams that commit a lot of penalties, is there something that Melvin Spears is doing or he's not coaching? Why does this happen? Why do they consistently lead the SWAC in the country in penalties?
Ball start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
Well, first of all, some penalties as a football coach you can live with because they're effort penalties. The holding, sometimes you can't help that. You're trying to save your quarterback. But it's the offsides penalties and the personal foul penalties that kind of, you know, make you scratch your head. The false starts, those are the ones that drive coaches crazy. You know, there's going to be penalties in a football game. There will never be a game played when a team, or I won't say ever because there has been, but where there aren't any penalties, but certainly you have to limit them.
Oh, that's too easy. Little pitch and catch out to his tight end, Tim Abney, with a big gainer right up the gut. They pick up 18 yards. It's going to bring up a third down and manageable now.
Boy, Bruce Eugene recognizing coverage and knows the weaknesses, knows the matchups from all his receivers, sitting back there scanning the field, and he finds the matchup. Now you see man-to-man across the board back here for Alabama A&M.
Eugene tries the left side. He's tripped up. Actually, may have been a tripping call. He's short of the first down, and we'll have to sort this one up.
Well, it looks like this one's going to be on Tommy Durrell, the left guard for Alabama, Grambling State. Another penalty, Eric, right here. Well, they had what they wanted. You see the man-to-man across the board, and if you get penetration up the field, it'll create a running lane for Bruce Eugene, the quarterback draw.
Offense, number 68, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, third down.
So the penalty was indeed on Tommy Durrell, much to the chagrin of Melvin Spears. Well, coming up at halftime, we have plenty of stories to cover. It'll be a very interesting halftime. Hope you stick around. We will go behind the band. We will talk to the band of Grambling State. They're such a sensational group. Not only will we have conversations, but we will also listen extensively to one of their performances, and we will also talk about the Bruce Eugene family struggle, devastated by Hurricane Katrina. That is a gripping story. You won't want to miss that.
Might be the first halftime I don't go for food.
On third down and long, the pass is caught. Complete left side. They needed 15, and Moses Harris may have gotten 16. I think they got the first down. 3 penalties in this drive, and then they're able to convert on third down and forever and throw it for a first down. I'll tell you what, it's as impressive an offense as I've watched. You can go and bring it down, bring everybody in, run the wing tee, and then spread them out, 4 and 5 receivers, and throw the football effectively. Boy, it is magic. It is something to see. Fresh set it down. Eugene with plenty of time this time. Pitch and catch complete again. Clyde Edwards brought down rudely, but not before he gets down to the 35-yard line. Another big chunk of yardage for Grambling, a gain of 18. Well, I tell you, we're going to take a look at Bruce Eugene. Sit back in the pocket and throw the football, and look at what little effort he shows when he's just flicking the football down the field. Right there, just seeing things, right, and watch the delivery. Nice and quick, and it's crisp.
and it is beautiful to see floating through the air.
They talk about that release in the same whispers that they talk about the Joe Namath release. He's now 13 of 18 for 164 yards. Again, it's this man running down the seam. Henry Tolbert has it, fumbles it away, and Alabama A&M has the football. Tolbert had it and then lost it. Bobby McClain recovered the loose football, and Tolbert can't believe it. He thought he was down.
Well-thrown football by Bruce Eugene, and it was right after Henry Tolbert cleared coverage. I mean, you see it here, and it's going to come out real quick. Watch this. Boom. Real quick, as he clears the coverage right there, now you got to hold on to the football. He throws you one heck of a pass. I'm not sure that Henry Tolbert actually possessed the football. It looked like he was still bobbling it as he was going down.
We'll take another look at it when we come back, finishing off the first half here in Birmingham. On the sideline for Grambling, he's got 7 catches, but most recently, he's got a fumble to his credit here.
Yeah, you see him. Bruce Eugene hits him right in the crease as he clears coverage, and I'm saying that he doesn't possess the football long enough for that to be a fumble. I think that should have been ruled as an incomplete pass. It never got put away. He never made a football move to try to avoid the defenders trying to put the football away, and then it comes out. I think it's an incomplete pass.
Alabama A&M, they're not going to give that gift away. They have the football, and they're going to try and run out this clock here in the first half and go in the locker room just down 6 points. Remember, they're going to get the ball first coming out of the locker room. So just being down by a half dozen against a powerful Grambling team is somewhat of a minor victory, you'd imagine, for Alabama A&M.
It is, and you look at it. Let's take another look. Right here, he clearly gets his hands on the football, but as he's trying to bring it in, it's still bobbling around. Football's still moving around, still trying to find a handle, never really gets a handle on the football. Then it gets knocked out. That is an incomplete pass.
It's awfully close. It looked like he had it pinned against his thigh pad, but obviously didn't have it pinned there long enough. In the view of the officials down on the field. Let's go down to the field. Jay Walker, what's going on?
Well, I got the leading coach right now, Melvin Spears. Last time at their place, it was a blowout. This time, first half, 12-6. Good football game.
Oh, great football game. I knew it was going to be a dogfight. But the main thing is that right now we'll put it on the ground a couple times, turn it over. But certainly when we get back, we'll make a few adjustments, then we'll come back and get at them.
What have they shown you differently than they did the first time you played this team?
Not a whole lot. The thing is that they bagging in and out, and certainly we just got to settle down a little bit and just make a few calls, make a few moves here and there, and then we'll be okay.
And the guys in the booth are wondering, what do you say to your team about the penalty problem you guys seem to be putting yourself in, and you continue to go for it on 4th down?
Well, you know, this is a championship game. Some of our guys, their first year, they're a little bit emotional. We'll settle them down, and we'll come back and play some error-free football.
Coach Spears, good luck in the second half. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jay. Well, that'll do it for the first half of play for Bruce Eugene and Grambling and Alabama A&M, but the hits keep coming. Here at halftime, right around this commercial break, we will be back with the Grambling State Marching Band. The SWAC championship. After 30 minutes of play, Grambling State on top of Alabama A&M 12-6. When we talk about Grambling State football, so much history, so much tradition. Well, the same can be said about the marching band of Grambling State. They have history, they have tradition, and they have a whole heck of a lot of rhythm. It is the precision and pageantry of the world-famed Grambling State Marching Band that is a marvel to behold. We visited Grambling, Louisiana recently to see how they do it. Here's what we learned.
It started in 1926 when we had a president was also the basketball coach. He was also the baseball coach. He was also a classroom teacher.
The first band director was Ralph Waldo Emerson Jones.
He wanted a band, and so he formed the band. We got 17 instruments from Sears and Roebuck. The word is, we got house. We got house.
Grambling State University, the original dancing machine.
It goes beyond the playing of music. It goes beyond the formations. It gets into the expressiveness of the individual and the heart and soul of the individual.
Music has been a big part of black folks, African Americans. Halftime gives us an opportunity to express that. Halftime gives us an opportunity to embrace differences, to celebrate differences.
Many people, my mother even, came to the football games that I played in. Sometimes she didn't know my number, but she knew my sister was playing in the band.
We like dancing, we like music as a people, and it's a lot of fun. It's a tremendous undertaking. It's tremendous performance, and it's a happening.
Hey, y'all the sorriest marchers in the band.
As magnificent and seamless as the band's performances appear, the show preparation takes enormous dedication and sacrifice from band members.
If you look in the dictionary, you'll always find hard work coming before success. And it's no different today than it was when I was a student here. We practiced for many hours. Early in the morning, we'd be out practicing late in the evening.
We used to get up 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning and go outside and rehearse.
One, two, ready, go. If you hit on one, hit on one. You come on the end of one, come on. 1, 2, ready, and.
The students make it special because they work so hard and they put their heart into the band. And they practice. They practice till it's perfect.
The world-famed band's demanding standards of performance have taken them across the country and around the globe. From the 1964 AFL Championship in San Diego to the first Super Bowl in LA to presidential inaugurations in Washington and across the oceans to Japan and Africa, the band has played for presidents, emperors, cowboy fans, and music lovers alike. Touring the world, the band's musical roots remain at home in the Louisiana soil and the legendary New Orleans music scene.
If you're a Louisiana person and you're born with an instrument in your hand, you're gonna be Dixieland influenced.
We get a lot of our influence on New Orleans music, a lot of our sway, our swagger. It all comes from New Orleans music. That New Orleans music have that jump, that feel. And we actually play New Orleans music, so that gives us our little energy, our little pep.
After Hurricane Katrina's surging waters devastated New Orleans, the band took on a new focus, a fundraising tour for Louisiana's victims.
A lot of people in the band are from New Orleans, and they lost their house. Some of them lost family members. We had to keep our band together and pull together so we can make a positive show.
So the Grambling Band is on a mission. And when we got to Seattle, we made 3 performances in every stadium that we packed. All the money went to victims in the name of Grambling State University Marching Band.
I saw people crying as we played, and it was just a lot of love and emotion. So basically, we turned something that was negative into a positive situation.
We try to make the band do this whole formation in Superdome.
We're standing on other people's shoulders, the past, our history. And so if we know our history, we know we have to keep the legacy going.
Go and do something where a person will send you an email or just break into tears and say, you motivated me so much by your performance that I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a black man. I want to be a member of your program because of what you are instilling in your students.
Well, here at Legion Field, the Grambling State Marching Band waiting their turn to toot their own horn here at halftime. Looking on is Bruce Eugene's mom's Zena Eugene. Zena Eugene is in the stand watching her son play for a final time as a collegian. When we come back, we will have the Eugene family's uplifting life story. That's next. Stick around, everybody. Marching band has taken the field. Their team leading 12-6 this season long. They have had a big reason to toot their own horn for their starting quarterback, Bruce Eugene. He has been sensational, and this is senior season, and today is no different. 14 out of 19, over 150 yards, plus a touchdown pass, his 51st touchdown of the season. Now a win today, and quite possibly Grambling State, they would win the Black College National Championship. And wouldn't that be a real capper, an uplifting capper to what has been a very difficult year for Bruce Eugene and his family.
This is what remains of 2631 Upper Line Road in New Orleans. A dresser props open the back door where looters likely entered. The inside, littered with memories destroyed by mildew and mold. Out back, small reminders of the place Bruce Eugene once called home. It's been 3 months since Hurricane Katrina struck New Orleans. 3 months since Grambling State's quarterback took the field with renewed purpose.
I try to use the hurricane as motivation. You can run my family away, but you won't destroy me, you won't tear me down. That was kind of like my mentality.
Written by hand on the back of a t-shirt is his game day reminder. Hold down the NO.
I play with that underneath my shoulder pads every game, and I play with that on my back, and the love and all that I have for my mom and the rest of my family, my heart. I've just been excelling on the field.
But it is off the field where Eugene's actions have been most meaningful. As Katrina approached New Orleans, his mother Zena evacuated 90 miles west to Franklin, Louisiana to stay with relatives. But 3 days later, when the levees broke and the city began to flood, when the reality hit that residents would not be returning home, the quarterback called for his mother, sister, and baby brother to be with him.
He knew it didn't take much to twist my arm because we are a close-knit family, and we play together all the time.
When they arrived, they joined a dozen other friends and family seeking shelter, and Eugene's 3-bedroom house became home to 18.
The way they were acting, you wouldn't have thought that a hurricane just hit New Orleans, because everybody was just sitting around laughing and joking, just enjoying each other's presence.
We had a disaster, we lost everything, but we were all still here together. We were friends and family all together.
They realized how much they had lost last month when they returned to their home for the first time since Katrina hit.
What did you see?
A graveyard.
People had kicked in our door, had kicked in our back door, had kicked in our window. They had stolen a lot of my trophies. I was more hurt for my mom because, my mom cherished them trophies.
Some were salvaged, but Zena says 13 trophies were taken or destroyed. 13 pieces of proof that her children had succeeded.
My trophies, that's personal to me, because I feel like I know they've done their best, and someone else have seen them do their best, and they acknowledged it.
But she still has this picture, the only photograph of her family that remains. And in it smiles Zena's greatest trophies, including Bruce, the one whose actions this fall, on and off the field, have provided her with what she calls the time of her life.
We learned that there's nothing that can happen that we cannot get through together. Wherever there's a disaster, there's always a silver lining. You just have to find it.
It is absolutely amazing to me that Bruce Eugene can now throw for over 4,000 yards and 51 touchdowns just less than 4 months after what catastrophe hit him, his family, and so many other people down in New Orleans.
Well, I tell you what, playing quarterback on the collegiate level is a tough enough job. But then when you put up the type of numbers that Bruce Eugene has done his senior season and the success that he's had on the field, it just tells you a little bit about the quality and the character of this young man. I mean, he is a special individual, a leader of a campus at Grambling State.
Well, the big reason why Bruce Eugene has become the man that he is because of his mother, Zena. She is standing by with Jay Walker. Jay?
Hey, we know that Bruce and his mother Zena have a very special relationship, but let's not downplay the rest of the family. Over 30 family members are here in the stands, and they told me I couldn't get an interview with the mama unless I put on a Bruce Eugene jersey, and I figured for as many yards as he's thrown for, that's the least that I can do. But we just saw the piece about you all and Hurricane Katrina. How's the family doing now?
Oh, we're coping just fine. Since Hurricane Katrina, Grambling has been lovely to us. And living in Ruston has been like a real contented because not much worrying. I've been really happy.
There's a special story behind every time Bruce throws a touchdown. You showed me the sign that he does. What's the sign that he does? He does the X. If you say that X is for what?
He threw up the 10 wall sign. We come from the Thomas Project. We was the 10 wall, and that's why he wear the number 10 to represent from where he comes from.
Well, we saw that you showed him how to throw a football. Myself and Andre Ware want to know, where did you learn to teach a quick release like that?
Well, I have always been a football fan, and when he asked me to show him how, I just had to take my time and watch football and read on it, and I just took my time and taught him how to play. I didn't know it was going to come to this field, but...
Now tell me the truth, Mama. Deep down, your biggest wish for Christmas is the New Orleans Saints draft Bruce Eugene, isn't it?
My biggest wish for Christmas is just Bruce win the SWAC championship right now and go out on a big note.
All right, well, it looks like you're on your way to an early Christmas present. Guys, back to you.
Jay, thank you so much. Well, yeah, August and September must have been so difficult for the Eugene family, but it is now December. It is time to celebrate. Let's take a commercial break, but first, let's take a little listen at Grambling State and their marching band. Legion Field, SWAC championship getting ready to kick off the second half. It is 12-6, Grambling on top of Alabama A&M after 30 minutes. And, well, this is a major victory already for Alabama A&M. First time they played back in September after 30 minutes, they were down 34-0 at halftime.
All right, I tell you what, they really came out. They scored first in this football game to kind of set the tone, so to speak. They knew defensively it was going to be a chore, but that the offense would have to step up. And right away, we saw that Alabama A&M was going to be different in this football game. Right here, you see the quarterback, Kelsey Luke, to his receiver on the outside, setting up their first score right here. As they get themselves into the end zone, his brother, Nick Luke, with a plunge over the left side. And then all of a sudden it was Bruce Eugene. Look at this, the patience sitting in the pocket, finding receivers down the field. Big, big fourth down conversion there to keep the drive alive. And then Bruce Eugene over the middle to Henry Tolbert, his favorite receiver on the year. Then you see him with the legs here, making guys miss and stepping out of tackles. Just buying just enough time, sets up the second score. With an Abquan plunge up the middle of the formation. And that's where we are at 12-6 with Grambling leading.
Take a look at the first half stats. A lot of those rushing yards for Alabama A&M were on one play. They had a 52-yard rumble, 52 of the 68 yards on one play. So they're having a hard time running the ball against Grambling.
Yeah, it's been a struggle since that big, the big 52-yard run by Jock Pyatt, and they have really, really struggled on the ground. I tell you what, they've become basically one-dimensional the second quarter of this football game.
Two things you may never see again. 4 for 4, Grambling State on first down, and no extra points made. 0 for 3 for both teams in the first half. We'll be back with the second half in a moment. Something to cheer about here in this championship game. They have never won the SWAC championship. They're down by 6 against Grambling State. To get more of a sense on how Alabama A&M is feeling, let's go to Jay Walker, who's standing by with the head coach.
Coach, much more competitive first half of football. What's it going to take for you guys to win in the second half?
I tell you, we'll be more competitive ball game. We've grown up. What it's going to take us is scoring more points than them. So somehow we got to find a way to get that done. We made our adjustments. Let's see if they'll work.
What'd you tell the team at halftime?
This is our kind of game. We low scoring, kind of ugly. This is our kind of game. We'll see if we can pull it out.
Now, it seems like you guys shot yourselves in the foot a couple times with some penalties and some turnovers. What do you do to address that situation?
We've already addressed it. Hopefully it won't happen again.
Good luck to you in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. And he is a man of very few words. He's a little gruff, and I think he wants to be that way. He wants his team to be as tough as he is.
No, he wants the team to take up take on the makeup of his personality, and it's tough, it's serious, it's all business. And I tell you, Jay hit the nail on the head. It's been penalties, and especially down inside the red zone going in. When you turn the football over, boy, that takes all the air out of your balloon in terms of momentum on your football team.
Alabama A&M watches the football sail out of the back of the end zone. They will take over at the 20-yard line. Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs, riding a 6-game winning streak. They're 9-2 on the year. They came out of the SWAC East with a 7-2 conference mark. This is their first 9-win season in school history. Anthony Jones, now in his 4th season working that sideline. He's got a good thing going on with the Bulldogs. Remember, they played back in September 10th, and they had their lunch handed to them. Basically, their lunch, their breakfast, their dinner, everything. They lost 44-0. This game's a big victory already. The fact that they have been competitive through 30 minutes. Timothy Robinson drops the first pass of the second half by Kelsey Luke.
Basically, that was a play that they ran just then. They ran earlier in the first quarter that set up that big touchdown run by Nick Luke, trying to just get Kelsey Luke out on the edge and allow him to buy some time, use his athletic ability. Maybe if things break down or you get deep zone drops, that he could turn the corner and maybe get some positive yards. If not, scan the field and deliver the football. They threw very catchable football that Timothy Robinson probably should have caught here.
Luke was 6 out of 9 in the first half for 80 yards. Complete. Throws a strikeout left side. Timothy Robinson catches that one and picks up 7, maybe 8.
Tell you what, the thing that impressed me there on the part of Kelsey Luke is his ability to scan the field. Some reads are from high to low, some are from right to left or left to right. There, he goes from the right side of the football field, scans it all the way back left, and finds Timothy Robinson hooking up about 6 yards deep, 7 yards deep down the field, and has enough arm strength to throw him a nice catchable football.
Once again, a whistle before the huddle is broken for Alabama A&M. No flag on the play, just
slow it down just a little bit.
Sorting everything out, sure, why not? 3rd down and 3, Alabama A&M. They have had a fantastic second half to their 2005 season. Trying to get to 10 wins for the first time in school history. Throwing it up, Timothy Robinson juggled it. And they're going to say he came down with it. Heck of a catch made by Robinson. Pick up a 15 yards and a first down for the Bulldogs. Let's go down on the field and Jay Walker. Jay?
Guys, you heard Coach Jones say at halftime, this is his type of football game. Well, that's because this Bulldog team has been in this predicament before. Go back to the Magic City Classic early in the year, facing a vaunted Alabama State team with a 6-1 record. Alabama A&M was down 16-0 when Emmanuel Edwards set the tone for the rest of the season with this electrifying punt return to help spark Alabama A&M to a win streak which propelled them to a SWAC Eastern Division championship. They just want to see if they can continue to compete and maybe relive some of that magic by hanging close. Back to you.
Another pitch and catch, a little flip out to the left side. Gerald Stockdale on that reception on first down. Yeah, it's amazing one play during the course of a season, what it can spark your team to throughout the rest of the year. A big play like a punt return, all of a sudden you get that surge of energy, and it not only carries over for that game, but for weeks and weeks and weeks.
You know, that's why when you talk about it on a different level, and everybody's talking about the Indianapolis Colts, and should they rest players or should they not? It's amazing. You work all year long to get things going, to get in a rhythm, the entire team, and then to sit guys out, and then all of a sudden you have a bye in the first round. You can't recapture that momentum once you get started as a football team. It is hard to grasp it. You better ride it for as long as you can.
Emmanuel Edwards pick up of 15 yards, and this is another good drive for the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M.
Yeah, and you look at them, and basically since that first game against Grambling, they had one hiccup against Texas Southern, a game that maybe they thought they could roll their helmets out on the football field and come away with a win. Guess what? TSU showed up to play that afternoon and knocked them off. So they took that game, and they've won 8 out of the last 9, and riding a wave into this football game. Hey, what? They're playing some pretty good football this afternoon.
Nick Luke with the carry, right up the gut. Yeah, that loss to Texas A&M, it's a real stunner looking back on it, or Texas Southern, that's a real stunner looking back on it. Texas Southern picked up the rear in the SWAC this year. They had just one win the entire year, and that came against the team that won the SWAC East, Alabama A&M.
Yep, A. Lois Blackwell down there at Texas Southern, good friend of mine, and had a very struggle this season, to say the least. But I tell you what, the afternoon when they played Alabama A&M, they showed up and strapped it up and came away with a victory. And he'll get that thing turned in the right direction down there. But boy, it was a wake-up call for this Alabama A&M program.
Delayed handoff, Luke has it, and he picks up 4, maybe 5. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. So glad you could join us here from historic Legion Field. This has been an event over the last couple of days. The SWAC Championship being played here in Birmingham for 7 consecutive seasons now. Alongside Andre Ware, with Jay Walker, I'm Eric Collins. Just getting started here in the 3rd quarter. Bruce Eugene looking on the sides. He's got pro prospect written all over him. His head coach, Melvin Spears, knows that he's one of the all-time greats in SWAC history, just trying to get the ball back and beat away these pesky Bulldogs of Alabama A&M.
Hey, they're not going to go away. I mean, this was going to be one to the final zeros in this football game. So I got a feeling this one's going to be one of those fantastic finishes.
Alabama A&M, they have never won the SWAC championship. Of course, Grambling, they have owned the SWAC championship in their school's history. They have won 20 SWAC championships, including winning this championship game 3 out of the 6 years that it has been played.
The other 2 times Alabama A&M was here, it was Grambling that put it on them. So they're trying to finally climb over the hurdle.
They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Hey, why not? You watched Coach Spears do it on the other side of the field. They may as well take a shot here.
And maybe.
Well, I'll tell you what, they tried to quick snap them and get Grambling to jump. They jumped, but the official did not. I don't see a flag down. So when Kelsey Luke took the knee, that's going to turn the football over to Grambling State.
Oh, a blunder there.
Yeah, really wasn't intending on going for it. Tried to use the hard count to draw Grambling off sides. It didn't work. They jumped, but he thought he came across the football into the neutral zone. Once he snapped the football, the center, Chris Franklin, Kelsey Luke took a knee, but I'll tell you what, it didn't. Nobody right there. He gets back. That's offsides, and that's a blown call by the officials.
Break doesn't go the way of the Bulldogs. They give it back over to Grambling. We'll take a timeout. Here in Birmingham, Alabama, Dreamland is always a place that you like to stop by.
Oh,
some
absolutely.
fantastic ribs at Dreamland.
You can't come to Birmingham, Alabama, and not make a stop at Dreamland.
The original Dreamland just a couple of miles down the road in Tuscaloosa, but this is the second, and if you ask me, they really figured it out with number 2. It's some fantastic food.
Let's get our table ready.
Bruce
Being
Eugene.
there tonight.
I'd imagine you wouldn't want to pick up the tab if Bruce Eugene goes with the Dreamland.
Finger licking good down there at Dreamland.
11:06 remaining, 3rd quarter. Grambling has the ball for the first time in the 2nd half, and Eugene throws it up, pitch and catch, complete. That's Henry Tolbert once again, and Tolbert picks up big yards down the right sideline, finally pushed out of bounds after a gain of 32.
Boy, unbelievable, the pocket presence of Bruce Eugene. Right here, you're going to see him. He's going to get pressure right in his face. Freeze it right there. Trying to find a lane with a guy draped around your neck and still throwing an accurate pass to your favorite target, Henry Tolbert. Boy, I tell you, that's a special talent that Bruce Eugene has to just be able to throw the football down the field with such accuracy and velocity.
Now 15 for 20. Throwing it up for grabs and caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Henry Tolbert.
Boy, Bruce Eugene took a shot and still stood in and threw the football with accuracy down the field for a touchdown to Henry Tolbert. I thought I'd seen it all the play before. Look at this. 94, Lieutenant Dukes right there going low. And Melissa Hill going high on him. He can't really even see the end of the play, but just knows where to throw the football. And you talk about chemistry between a quarterback and a receiver. Boy, they've got it. Bruce Eugene and Henry Tolbert.
Extra point, up and good. Tim Manuel knocks it through. 2 consecutive plays. Eugene to Tolbert. The first, netting 32 yards. The second, 31 yards and another touchdown.
How about that one? When you just got to buy yourself a little time. You know, people talk about not throwing off the back foot. Well, guess what? Sometimes you have to, and you can't step into that throw. Otherwise, the football doesn't come out. But just the arm strength of Bruce Eugene fading backwards just to buy himself enough time to get the football away. And then the end result, 6 points in the end zone.
Tolbert, a couple of touchdowns for him, both coming courtesy of the right arm of Bruce Eugene. Tonight at 8 Eastern, college football's most prestigious award is handed out on ESPN. The Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Capital One. Tonight at 8 Eastern, followed immediately by the premiere of Codebreakers. And well, a very good chance that Reggie Bush is going to win the Heisman Trophy, but it is still worth watching because the raw emotion, the guys who get a chance to win, sometimes it's the biggest thing they're ever going to do in their entire lives. Andre, you were at the Downtown Athletic Club. You won a Heisman Trophy back in '89. What's it like when they call your name?
It's just a moment of emotions. I tell you what, I got the opportunity to spend it with my teammates down at Houston. They finally got it right. They got all the guys that moved it back about a week, and to get everybody into New York City while you're all there for the announcement. I was actually fortunate enough to be around all my teammates in the locker room after a game against Rice that day, and I'll tell you what, it's something that you never, ever forget.
Was it a surprise to you?
Well, yeah, because, you know, the year I won it, we were actually serving a probationary period for some things that had happened a decade before my teammates and I got to campus. So it had never been won by a team that was on probation. We had a magical season. We couldn't go to a bowl game. We just had a bunch of guys that were fighting for just the joy of playing football. And when they announced it, we all celebrated.
Pass deep, intended for Timothy Robinson. It is incomplete. Looking for a big play on first down.
And, now, you get all the mail outs and the postcards, and, you got to have TV time and all that stuff. And it wasn't like that the year that they called my name, that's for sure.
You just saw a sign a couple of moments ago. Bruce Eugene for the Walter Payton Award. Of course, here in 1AA, that's the highest. That's the Heisman of 1AA. Right. He didn't even finish in the top 3. Jay, that's kind of amazing, isn't it?
Well, I think it is. I mean, when you talk about the criteria for winning the Heisman, Bruce Eugene said he's trying to figure it all out. You see, as his sophomore season, he thought he needed more yardage. And see, he actually went out there and threw for more yards. And then his junior season, he said, okay, well, let me improve on my interception ratio. And he came in 3rd place then. So after a 2nd place finish, then he came in 3rd. His senior season, he put it all together. He improved on his touchdowns, his interception, his pass efficiency, his yardage, his wins, and everything else you can improve upon as a quarterback. But yet he was disappointed because he was not selected as one of the 3 finalists for the Payton Award. He asked me openly out front, I don't know what the selection criteria is to win the award. Andre, you've got a little Heisman Trophy up there. When did you figure out what the criteria was to win a postseason award?
Well, you just have to leave it on the field. And I mean, some things or most things in life are out of your control. So, you put up the numbers, you do what you can do, and then you leave it in the hands of everyone else. I tell you what, there's no more satisfaction though when you win football games and you can celebrate after a game with those guys that you worked hard with and you sweat with. But the greatest reward I had was when we were able to celebrate together when we won the Heisman Trophy. So I mean, you can't put too much into it. It's out of your control.
Grambling calls a timeout on defense. They're up by 13. Well, Bruce Eugene is the toast of Legion Field, and he's been the toast of Grambling for the 4 years that he has had eligibility. He has been the best quarterback statistically in the history of Grambling football. That says a lot considering James Harris and Doug Williams played there. On 3rd down and long, Kelsey Luke to his right, throws behind his body, and it is incomplete. Good pass defense in the backfield. Getting a hand in there was Greg Fassett. Keep talking about Bruce Eugene, and there's a big reason why. The numbers just scream off the page at you.
Well, he's up to about 52 touchdown passes, so that one's got to be altered after this game. But I tell you, I don't know what the criteria is. Jay asked me that, but man, I have no idea. When you have a season like this and you don't even make the finals, the final 3, I mean, you need to go into basically who is in charge of the process. When you have a guy like that leads, you know, in terms of passing, 52 touchdown pass, that alone is enough to kind of grab your attention. And then about 55, 58% to go with it. I don't know what else he's got to do.
Picking up on a hop, trying the right side. With room to run, that's Landry, right side. Looking for a block, can't get it, but he picks up good yards and get into positive territory. A late flag flies, maybe some excessive exuberance down on that sideline, but a pickup of 33 yards on the return for Landry Carter.
Landry Carter's an exciting youngster, just a sophomore. And they bring him in sometimes to run the football. He adds the element of speed to the backfield. Boy, he is magical in the return game. Came in averaging just over 12 yards a return. Already has a touchdown, 1 touchdown for a punt return on the year. Get this thing sorted out here with the officials.
Personal foul, number 23 of the return team, 15 yards, first down and 10 for Grambling.
Take a look at the replay here. In real time, Landry Carter, and it's going to be a huge hit at the end of this. There's Osorio coming up in a lace of wood.
Well, the penalty goes against Grambling, and it marches them back 15 yards. And so they'll start with the ball on the 40-yard line. First down at 10. Bruce Eugene trying to add to his total. They're going to start with the ball on the ground. Abquan with the football. Pickup of 3, maybe 4 on first down. If you're Grambling right now, up by 13, just getting started here in the 3rd quarter, do you continue taking shots down the field, or do you maybe try and calm the game down a little bit and run the football more?
You ever known me to talk about calming the game down? And I'm trying to step on the gas and add a little more fuel to this fire. I want some more points. If I'm the Grambling State Tigers, you don't start throttling anything down till you're about 5 minutes into the, with 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. I think you execute your offense to the very end of each football game. That's when you get yourself in trouble, trying to secure leads when you're in the 3rd quarter.
Another sidearm throw, and this one is complete. Moses Harris, a pickup of 14 yards.
It's amazing to me when you talk about the delivery point and then still throwing with accuracy. Bruce Eugene, I mean, if you allow him time and he can step into throws, boy, he is as classic a passer as you'll see, and the ball is nice and pretty coming through the air. But then it's just as attractive when he's got to throw it around defenders.
Again, looking for a big chunk, throws a pretty ball that's caught. Touchdown, George Piggott. Oh, it's too easy. Eugene just flips it up, and he's got enough thoroughbreds out wide that can come down with the football.
Well, I tell you, he's got some guys on the end of those passes that are just flat making plays.
41 yards on the touchdown pass from Eugene to Piggott.
Yeah, George Piggott right there. I mean, you see the shots that Bruce Eugene's willing to stand in and take, and then the receivers at the other end rewarding him. Nothing more frustrating than when a quarterback stands in there and takes a shot and the receiver puts the ball on the ground. But when you can reward him, boy, it doesn't hurt quite as much.
Extra point attempt is blocked. Loose football is down at about the 20-yard line, so that is the second extra point that has not gone the way of Grambling. They went for 2 one time, didn't get that. So extra points have really been the only time they've stubbed their toe. But they now are up by 19 points. Tonight at 9 Eastern, ESPN Original Entertainment presents Code Breakers, an ESPN original movie that explores the notorious 1950 cheating scandal involving the West Point football team. That's Code Breakers, presented by Kay Jewelers, tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN, immediately following the Heisman Trophy presentation.
Well, let's go back and take a look at this touchdown pass by Bruce Eugene to George Pickett, and you watch the eyes of Bruce Eugene. Here, you're going to see him in the middle of the field, looking dead center down the field, and now out here he's got one-on-one coverage on the outside, down the outside sideline to George Pickett, and then the delivery, standing in the pocket, and then taking the lick, and then George Pickett right here, going up, getting the football, getting into the end zone. Boy, I tell you, Bruce Eugene, special throwing the football.
Well, I just asked you if they're going to kind of rein it down a little bit and start running the football. 4 for 4, 118 yards, a couple of touchdowns. They went 60 yards in 3 plays after I kind of intimated that maybe they'd start running the football. It didn't happen.
I don't get the vibe from Coach Melvin Spears that he's going to throttle it back. I mean, they like to, if you show up, then you're at the mercy of my football team until I am finished, till the clock hits 0. So they like to have fun. They'll rotate a lot of youngsters in there and get them some experience, but they continue to execute and run the offense.
Melvin Spears, he talks about 60 minutes of heck. Jay, you know about that 60 minutes of trouble that they bring.
You got to keep it going. I think, one thing we're forgetting about a little bit, the reason why Graham is going to continue to stay on the gas pedal, they're playing for a Black College National Championship. Right now, they're the #2 ranked team in all of Black College. With Hampton's first-round loss in the 1AA playoff, Gramblin's got a chance to surpass them with an impressive win in the SWAC championship. So I look for Grambling to pull out all the stops, put off on the gas pedal, just like you saw SC do against UCLA and Texas do in their final game in the conference championship. Look for Grambling to run it up big.
You know what? I think they already have surpassed Hampton. Hampton loses to a 1AA team, the only loss on the schedule for Grambling this year, to Washington State on the road in Seattle against a 1A football team when they stepped up and they realized that, you know what, we're strong enough to play with anybody. We didn't have it that day, but then they just ran through the rest of their schedule to get to this SWAC championship game. My opinion, they're the national champion.
Kelsey Luke throws.
Provided.
Complete.
Provided they hold on this
Emmanuel
afternoon.
Edwards with a pickup of 11 yards to give first down for the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, Alabama A&M pesky bunch that they're not going to quit in this football game. Emmanuel Edwards is the Alabama A&M player that's still down.
Emmanuel Edwards has been battling a groin injury, trying to be healthy enough to get on the field again for Anthony Jones and his Alabama A&M offense. They need him. He's got 5 catches, 68 yards, but he may have re-aggravated something on that last catch and run.
He was out of the Prairie View game with that same groin injury, and I tell you what, he is vital to their return game. He gives them another receiver in terms of big playability on the other side of the field opposite Timothy Robinson. But there you see it, comes down, maybe gets twisted up just a little bit right there, and just enough to aggravate an old injury. Take another look at it. Nice move, setting the defensive back outside, securing the catch with body position. Just gets turned around and twisted just enough for that old groin injury to aggravate and jump up again.
Ball on the 39-yard line. First down and 10. Luke wants to throw, spins it out, as his tight end, Charles Moody, loses the football, but they're going to say he was down by contact at the 44-yard line. So Moody gets his first catch of the day.
Yeah, Moody's not a guy that has blazing speed, but tell you what, he plays faster than he clocks in the 40. He's got good, reliable hands, good student of the game, always watching film, trying to get better, just a sophomore, 6'2", 257. He's going to be a good football player for Coach Jones in that Alabama A&M program.
When we talked to Coach Jones earlier this week, he said the tight ends are a huge part of his offense, and that's a big reason why. He was a pretty darn good tight end, spent 5 years in the NFL, winning a Super Bowl ring as a tight end for the Washington Redskins.
He's going to make sure that's a pretty good position on his football team, and he can coach that one directly, give points and you know, little tidbits and help those guys along and help them mature a little bit faster than they normally would.
Right side, Kelsey Luke running some option, keeps it himself, gets away from one tackler, and picks up 4 tough yards. Now Anthony Jones, he has got history in this great game of football. We talked about the fact that he spent time in the NFL playing with the Washington Redskins. There he is during his 5 years in Washington. Played with quarterbacks like Jay Schrader, Doug Williams. So he knows a thing or two about quality quarterback play, and that's the Washington Redskins team that eventually went on to win the Super Bowl. Doug Williams is a big reason why. Doug Williams and Redskins offense put up 35 points in the second quarter. Blow out the game and win the Super Bowl.
5-yard penalty.
Doug Williams put on quite a performance, went out of that football game early with a knee injury and then came back. And whew, well, you talk about whipping it around the field. And every pass that he threw was so accurate and so on the money that it was like he was playing in a zone. You know, you get that sometimes as a quarterback, that every pass or every time you pull it back to throw it, there's no doubt in your mind that you can squeeze it in there. And that's the kind of afternoon that Doug Williams had in that Super Bowl. Boy, I remember watching it and cheering him on from home.
Nice play on third down. Sliding catches made by Timothy Robinson. And the chains will move. So Kelsey Luke needed a good throw. Got it out there. Catch was made. And they will keep possession of the football. They still got a chance here. Plenty of time in this game.
Timothy Robinson came into this program as a quarterback and we moved out to wide receiver. Boy, he's got some big playability. Smart kid when you talk to the coaches. And he plays the game the way it should be played, hard every snap.
Back to the ground game they go. First man through, that's Jaquez Pyens. He had the big 52-yard scamper in the first quarter. This time he's bottled up close to the line of scrimmage after a pickup of 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, you know, if you're Alabama A&M, you can kind of stay close to the game plan here. You're down by 19, you need some scores. But you have to execute plays to get yourself back in this football game because of the quick strike ability of Grambling State. You see, you don't have to go all one way where you're all pass at this stage in the game. You can still mix some runs in there, but boy, they need to continue to get first downs, and then at the end of those first downs, put some points on the board.
Fake to Tamar Scott. Luke keeps it. Wants a bunch, looking for his tight end over the head of John Smith. Let's get an injury update on Emmanuel Edwards. Jay, what's the latest?
Well, guys, you guys called it. Thought he pulled his hamstring. He did pull it slightly, though. What they're going to try and do is tape it up real tight, see if he can go. I asked the trainers, do they think he for sure will be able to continue? They said, I don't know. It's 50-50. It's just a matter of how much pain he can play with in the rest of this game.
Well, it's the championship. I'll tell you what, if he can go, he will certainly be back in the football game because you don't know when you're going to get back to this stage again in your college career. So you get that opportunity. You have to make the most of it. If you can go and you're about 90%, hey, strap it up and you do what you can do.
3rd down and 9, trying to keep this drive alive. Luke throws high, incomplete, but a flag comes down. He was looking for Anthony Mitchell, the freshman from Mississippi. The throw sailed high, but he may have been held.
Tyrone King was out there, the freshman corner, right here out of Birmingham, Alabama, A.H. Parker High School, not far from this stadium. 8 guys from
pass interference, defense number 8, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Yeah, 8 guys on this Grambling State football team from Parker High School. You're going to see it here. If he turns his body to make a play on the football, maybe it doesn't get called, but I'll tell you, he never turned around. And right there, just the hands and a little shove at the end is what drew the attention of the official. Well, he's just a freshman, though. He's going to be a good football player for Melvin Spears.
So the Bulldogs catch a break. On a 3rd and long, they keep the football. Travis O'Neal now checked into the game in the backfield for Alabama A&M. And O'Neal has it. O'Neal squirts forward and picks up a yard before Donald Williams wraps him up and brings him down.
O'Neal, the bigger back, 6'1", about 230 pounds. Brought into the game to soften it up just a little bit, give it a change of pace. We've had Nick Luke in the football game. Jamar Scott has seen action throughout this afternoon. And now, Travis O'Neal came in with just 93 yards on the season, averaging over 5 yards a carry. Give him a little look.
Travis O'Neal from Leeds, Alabama. They grow him big down there. Same high school as Charles Barkley. Little pump fake going down the right side. Pass is incomplete. Jay, what's going on down the sideline?
Well, you know, we talk about Bruce Eugene getting NFL scouts coming from all over the place. Well, on the defensive line for Grambling, they've got a young man by the name of Jason Hatcher who's got the NFL calling his name as well. Coach Spears said the Dallas Cowboys have been down there, and he said Bill Parcells never sends anybody back there twice. And he also said the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line sent their coach as well as Hall of Famer Mean Joe Green to evaluate Jason Hatcher's talent. And everybody comes away with the consensus thought that he will be playing on Sundays this time next year.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like he's going to be a first-day guy. And I'll tell you what, I went out at halftime, get myself something to drink, get settled in for the second half. I see the Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguar scouts. A lot of scouts here checking out this the SWAC championship game. And, you know, you look on the other side of the ball, Johnny Baldwin, he's just a junior. He may have an opportunity to catch the eye of some scouts as well.
Not what the doctor ordered for Alabama A&M. A hole on the outside when they had a 3rd down and 8. Already a daunting task, and now they may be marching backwards. Johnny Baldwin, sensational linebacker. They're going to decline that penalty. They declined the penalty because they didn't get the first down, so it's going to bring up a 4th down and 7. And I think they're going to go for it.
Yep.
With more on Jason Hatcher, let's go back down to Jay.
Yeah, you know, to follow it up, when Hatcher got to Grambling, he came in there originally as a 2-sport star in basketball and football. He's going to leave Grambling as a 2-way player in football. He started off his career as a tight end, and now he's going to finish up as a defensive end, making first-team All-SWAC honors in his senior season.
I'll tell you, he was 2nd-team All-American in basketball, pretty good basketball player.
4th down and 7, flags flying, and Kelsey Luke is cut down close to the line of scrimmage. Real sloppy play right now on both sides of the ball.
I'll tell you, that flag is right in the area that officials call holding, and it's 2 big offensive linemen. 64, Jeffrey Johnson.
Jermaine Mills on this time.
And number 77, Roderick Johnson.
Holding offense, number 64. Penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 1st down for Grambling.
It was the first Johnson that gets the flag.
Well, Alabama A&M 0 for 2 on 4th downs. Grambling 4 for 4. That's been a big difference. Back to the SWAC championship game. Grambling on top of Alabama A&M 25-6. And, well, the banks in these parts are extra large. Jonathan Banks, offensive lineman for Grambling, 360 pounds. His brother Jason Banks is a defensive tackle. He is a 300-pounder. They're both very athletic, though, for their size.
That's a big grocery bill. Those 2 guys growing up in the same household.
Inside handoff. And that's Landry Carter. And Landry Carter with room to run down the right sideline. We've seen this time and time again. When they're looking for a quick hitter, they go to that man, Landry Carter. And when he gets a little bit of room, he makes it a lot of bit of room.
Well, he has got tremendous speed. And when you get him on the edge, he's the element of speed when you talk about Ab Quan and the other running backs. But, boy, he hits the corner. And if it's not for Marcus Black, who has an angle on Landry Carter, he's singing touchdown songs in the end zone.
Pickup of 28 yards. Once again, a flag flies before the play can get started. We've seen a whole heck of a lot of penalties here in the 3rd quarter.
Lots of laundry.
Ball start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
That's the man we're just talking about, Jonathan Banks. 6'8", 360 pounds.
Big fella. He's got good feet, though. He's 360. He's got fabulous feet.
Eugene slings it again, left side. Pass is caught. Circus catch is made by Henry Tolbert once again. He continues to shine. A gain of 31 yards.
That's where I talked about with your Alabama A&M. You got to start having some rewards on the end of drives when you pick up first downs. You got to start putting points on the board, because Grambling, if they get the foot. Guys trying to learn body language.
We apologize for a technical glitch. We are back here at Legion Field, SWAC championship, and the offense led by Bruce Eugene starting to flex some muscle. 3:20 remaining third quarter. Alabama A&M on the ropes right now.
Yeah, you look at the sideline of Alabama A&M, and their heads are hanging right now. They're down by 19 in this football game, but they're going to have to do something offensively, because the defense has been on the field quite a bit.
Another flag is down on the field. Grambling marching backwards.
We're stuck at 3:20.
Right of the snap, ball start. Offense number 71, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Derek Governor is called for the false start. Big right tackle out of White Castle, Louisiana.
A lot of penalties in this quarter. Part of both teams. A couple of holding penalties when Alabama A&M had the football. This season scored 45 points in 8 of 11 games. That is the quick strike ability that we talk about when you describe Grambling.
Eugene with time. Throws. Dangerous pass into double coverage. Looking for Clyde Edwards. It's knocked away.
Right, and you don't see Bruce Eugene throw into double coverage much. I mean, he's able to sort through things in coverage and then find the single coverage, which is what you want from your quarterback. And that, he eliminates the mistakes. But I'll tell you what, if he's throwing one and there's two guys there, pretty good feeling that he can get it in there.
He's now 19 for 26. 330 yards and 3 touchdowns. Remember, he's got 9 consecutive games of at least 4 touchdowns. Second down in a bunch. Tries the right side. Man wide open. Another touchdown. Reginald Jackson.
It's like he heard you. He had to go ahead and get the 4th one for you.
Bruce Eugene with 10 consecutive games with at least 4 touchdowns.
Well, I tell you, they're as good as anybody when the receivers turn. They start towards the flat, and then they turn up the field. And as they turn, Bruce Eugene's got the football in the air, and you see it gives the receiver time to adjust his body and make the catch for his quarterback.
We talked about that second quarter for Doug Williams in the Super Bowl back in 1988. Well, Bruce Eugene has had that type of quarter. Already 3 touchdown strikes here in the third quarter. The most recent one, a 23-yarder to Reginald Jackson. And now, to add insult to injury, they get the 2-point conversion back of the end zone. Catch is made by the tight end, Tim Abney. And that makes it a 33-6 Grambling lead.
Yeah, and let's go back and take a look at this touchdown pass. You're going to see the receiver from the slot come into the flat and then turn up the field. Bruce Eugene's going to buy enough time. You see it right here, just into the flat. It buys enough time right there. Freeze it. Now that this defensive back, he's beaten. Once he goes for tries to undercut the route, Bruce Eugene, the football's already in the air. And we'll take a look at Bruce Eugene right here looking. And right there, just enough of a hard stare at the receiver to make the defensive back think you're going to him in the flat. He turns up the field, and it's a feel thing in terms of receiver and quarterback. When you get close enough to the sideline, if you're going to the flat, you don't want to run the route, continue it out of bounds. What do? You turn it up the field. As he turns up, Bruce Eugene has got the football in the air already.
Well, Bruce Eugene making his mom Zena very proud. Those numbers staggering. It's kind of hard for me to fathom that someone could throw for 4 touchdowns at minimum for 10 consecutive games. That is some heavy lifting right there.
but he understands the game very, very well and understands how to break down defenses and get the football out on time.
That's Travis O'Neal refusing to go down quickly. He gets out to the 42-yard line, and that is where Alabama A&M will take over on offense. Tonight at 8 Eastern Time, college football's most prestigious award is handed out on ESPN. The Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Capital One. Tonight at 8 Eastern, followed by the world premiere of Code Breaker. Vince Young, he's got a chance tonight. Kid out of Texas.
I had a chance to see Vince Young when he was just a junior in high school, and he just had star written all over him. And just flat out take over football games the exact way he's doing at the University of Texas. A fabulous, fabulous football player.
.255 remaining, third quarter. Kelsey Luke back on the field for Alabama A&M, and there was some confusion in the huddle, and they're going to have to call a timeout and sort things out.
Well, this is the part of the football game here where now it's a must score if you're Alabama A&M. Every time you have the football, in order to get back in it, you're not just lighting up the scoreboard. They only average 26 points a game. They got to get 20 just to get to the average, but you trail by a little more than that.
Anthony Jones, none too pleased. He's reading the riot act right there. He wants his team to match his intensity.
Right. I'll tell you what, Grambling State offensively in just this third quarter, 9 offensive plays, 205 yards, and 3 touchdowns to go with all that.
Some sightseeing going on here over the last couple of days in Birmingham. The Steel City of the South.
Very scenic, beautiful city.
Legion Field has been the host for all 7 of the SWAC championship games that have been played. After the timeout, Kelsey Luke has his tight end wide open. That's John Smith. And Smith lowers the shoulder, gets across the 50 for a pickup of 9 yards.
We talked about the importance of the tight end in the offense for Alabama A&M. We saw Charles Moody come up with a catch in the earlier drive, and then now John Smith working him in as well. 10 receptions on the season. Now 3 touchdowns to go along with that. So both tight ends trying to factor into the offense here late in this football game.
John Smith seems like the type of guy that would be on the witness protection program or something like that. Throw out the right side, pass is complete. That's Emmanuel Edwards who has it and then loses it. And Grambling has the football back. Turnover gives the ball back over to the Tigers. Matt Dewey picked up the loose football and rumbles over to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, just trying to get some extra yardage. Little hitch route, ball comes out on time. And then here, going back inside's the first mistake because that's where everyone's coming from. And then putting the football on the ground. And the big fella, Matt Dewey, rumbling down the sideline. I'll tell you, what's surprising to me is the amount of turnovers on the part of Alabama A&M. They came into this football game with a +5 turnover ratio, second in the conference, only to who? Grambling State University, who has a +14 turnover margin. So you talk about 2 teams that took care of the football most of the season. Uncharacteristic is Alabama A&M and the turnovers they've had in this football game this afternoon.
Eugene, another throw deep down the field. This one skips in front of Henry Tolbert. Incomplete. Bring up a second down. Let's go back down to Jay. Jay?
You know, if you're a guy that believes in numbers, well, some of the numbers are not favoring Alabama A&M. And their 2 losses this year, they scored 7 and 0 points. And then another footnote on Bruce Eugene. Watching him down here on field level is even more phenomenal. I mean, he's moving safeties. He's sticking the ball everywhere. He's not throwing in the double coverage. He's clearly the best football player on the field at all times. And we're talking about all these stats he's putting up. Let's not forget, he's doing this against one of the top defenses in 1AA.
And no bones about it, the best defense in the SWAC this year in virtually every category. Sets up a screen, floated out, pass is complete. Coming out of the backfield, Ab Kwan.
I think the thing that amazed me yesterday when I got a chance to watch Bruce Eugene kind of fling the ball around a little bit in practice is the touch. He puts touch on the football when it needs to have touch on it. He zips it in there when it needs to be thrown in with some authority. And you talk about letting it go as players clear linebackers in zone coverage. He can make every throw on the field, the 20-yard out, whatever it is he needs to make. He can get the football from A to B.
First down, catch by Abquan. 4 receivers in the game, and again Eugene wants it all to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking back at the end zone, Cornelius Mackey. And the numbers staggering. Bruce Eugene in the third quarter alone, 184 yards, 3 touchdowns on the game. The Bulldogs just 248 and a touchdown. Andre, the numbers that scouts and NFL people are going to talk about are 6'1". That's the height for Bruce Eugene. The other number they're going to talk about is 260. That's his weight. Are those factors in your eyes?
You know, maybe behind by 10 pounds or so with that number, but you know, you look at it, the guy is just, he may just be one of those, you know, a guy that you can't put numbers on. I mean, he is a talent. I mean, he can throw the football around. He has as good an arm as I've seen in college football on any level.
Clyde Edwards with the football inside the 5, down to the 2.
Go back to a little bit more on Bruce Eugene, just his presence on the field. He is in control of everything. You see him there waving guys on. I want to run this play. I got it. You know, sometimes when he feels the game, they allow him to call his own number. And coaches, you got to have a lot of confidence in a guy like that if you're just going to turn the play calling over to Bruce Eugene and your quarterback. And I tell you what, he can make every throw on the field. 6'1", that doesn't factor in at 260. He's got enough speed and mobility to make every throw.
Just throwing it away, making a good decision. Live to fight another day. It's 2nd down and goal. Jay, what are your thoughts on what you've seen out of Bruce Eugene?
I mean, you know, we talked about some points. Eric, you obviously bring up some great points. The one thing the NFL is looking at is 6'1", 265, 270 pounds. But when you talk to some of the scouts now, they're saying, and Andre, we talked about this earlier, they're starting to say, let's not talk about the stuff we can downgrade this guy on. Let's talk about all the things that he can do. He does have a brilliant football IQ. He can throw the football like not too many people can, and he's quick for his size. He doesn't get sacked a lot. He moves around, and he's out there today limping all day long, but we still haven't talked about too many sacks of Bruce Eugene. So I think the NFL is starting to notice, hey, this is a guy that can really play football. We got to give him a chance.
I think he certainly deserves a chance. Look at that. I mean, the timing. Getting hit late.
Another touchdown. This time, Henry Tolbert on a shorty. That's Tolbert's 3rd touchdown catch.
And you can tell a lot of quarterbacks, hey, the ball's got to come out quick. It's got to come out quick in terms of timing routes. And you watch Henry Tolbert work down inside. He's going to work down inside and then back out real quick. As he works outside, the ball's got to be thrown. Look at that. Right on time, right out in front. Easy. It's easy for Bruce Eugene.
And with that touchdown, Henry Tolbert ties the Grambling record for most receiving touchdowns on a season with 18. And all 18 have come from Bruce Eugene.
Take a look at that scoreboard. There's 106 left in the 3rd quarter. We got a full 15 minutes left. He may shatter it.
Timeout is called before the 2-point try. Grambling wants to talk it over.
You know, you look at this play, we'll take another look at the touchdown pass. It's based on the position of the defender. You see the defensive back here, and he's inside. If he were to jump outside, the receiver would continue across. But he's inside, put the foot in the ground, and start back outside. Bruce Eugene watching the body language of Henry Tolbert. And you watch Eugene here, ball is up. Watch the quick release. Boom, just snap it out there, trying to buy time because he feels the pressure of the defender. Tell you what, that's a little late hit. Should have been an extra flag on the play.
Eugene, 5 touchdown passes on the game, 3 of them to Henry Tolbert. And Tolbert's numbers, they're starting to look like Eugene numbers. 18 touchdowns, that's a school record.
73 receptions on the year for that young man. And we talked about it. I don't know who picks the all-conference team. Well, he may want to get an examination because Henry Tolbert should be on it. First team, not second team.
Yeah, Jay, this offense is as good as you're going to find in the country.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, they're clicking on all cylinders. And I think I wonder what Andre's feeling is, do you think Bruce may be hurt by kind of the Charlie Ward factor? You know, the knock on Charlie was he never got underneath center and he did everything from the shotgun. If you're Bruce Eugene, how do you address that for your NFL chances?
You know, you're going to have to certainly prove during workouts and things of that sort that, you know, you can throw the football from under the center. You can drop back and throw it. I think Steve McNair made the adjustment. He was a shotgun passer at Alcorn State, and all the yards that he put up there, he made the adjustment just fine when he got to the NFL.
Abquan is pushed out before he can get to the goal line, so the 2 points are not converted by Grambling. And now a flag flies. Is maybe some frustration. Alabama A&M not really thrilled that Grambling continues to go for 2, even though they're already up by 33 points.
Yeah, and you know what? You kind of start to get under the skin of people when you feel like they're running it up. And you know, Bruce, the games, you know, there's still a lot of time, and I don't think you can pull off. If you're an offense here, you see right here the little extra. Get Abquan out of bounds, but you know, that's touchy.
Personal foul, number 80. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff, 15 yards from the 35-yard line.
Yeah, they call it on the tight end, Tim Abney, for Grambling. I think we do need to talk about this. They keep going for 2. Your thoughts on this, Andre? It's 39-6.
Well, that is, you know, you may be just kind of mushing it in someone's face when you keep going for 2, but hey, you got a field goal kicker that's missed a couple. He's only 50% on the year. He's had a couple of kicks blocked, or kick blocked, extra point blocked in this game. He's had 2 kicks blocked on the season. So there's not a whole lot of confidence in the kicking game if you're Melvin Spears. So hey, what better way to remedy it? Hey, we'll just line up and go for 2.
If you were a defender, your thoughts on Grambling continuing going for 2 when you're down 33 points?
Well, if you don't have any confidence in your kicking game, then you're just wasting points. And what do? Hand it? You can sit there and you can hand it off, or you know, you don't have a kicking game, or you don't have enough confidence in it to line up and kick it.
Total yards starting to be extremely one-sided. Alabama A&M, they're going to have the ball in good field position. Tamar Scott brings it out to the 47-yard line, and that is where the Bulldogs will take over.
You know, I always felt like, though, when it's ending the 3rd quarter like this and you got a big lead as a quarterback and you're still in the football game, you really have to start taking care of yourself and watch the shots. You watch Bruce Eugene and you watch that, and you see that he's being hit later and later as the football has been delivered from his hand to his receiver. So he's got to really take care of himself, protect himself if he indeed is going to finish this football game. So all of a sudden, you know, those guys, okay, you're going to run it up on me? I'm going to take some shots. You're going to leave here. You're going to need a whirlpool when you get home.
Movement on the line before the ball is snapped. That's going to go against Alabama A&M. Look to be Roderick Johnson on the right end.
Ball start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And the big fella, Roderick Johnson, 6'7", 371. When he makes any kind of move, people notice.
You can't do it quietly is basically what you're saying, right?
So Anthony Jones's team gets great field position and then promptly gives up 5 yards. First down at 15. This is the 3rd time that Alabama A&M has played in the SWAC championship game. They lost to Grambling in 2000, and they lost to Grambling in 2002. Kelsey Luke in trouble in the backfield, and he is brought down. Sacked before he can get to the line of scrimmage. Defensively, in the backfield, Antonio Hughes making his presence felt.
Yeah, right here, another one out of Parker High School in Birmingham. They just loaded with talent over at Parker High School. You know, I'd like to get down here to Birmingham once, and you know, all this talent on the team of Grambling State, get down and see Parker High School play a little bit.
Yeah, Parker High School actually is, it's about 3 bombs from Bruce Eugene away from Legion Field. And 8 players from Grambling State played high school football at Parker High School.
You know, Melvin Spears is after a little running back out of Parker High School that feels like they got a pretty good chance to land as a recruit coming in this season, next season.
Pass is low, intended for Timothy Robinson. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and a bunch, 3rd and 17.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. You've blown 2 downs to get the 3rd down and 17. A whole lot's gone wrong, and then you're trying to dig deep down in the playbook to convert 3rd down and 15. That is tough. Not a whole lot of plays designed to convert on 3rd down and 15 or 17.
Kelsey Luke out of the shotgun. Man in motion is Timothy Robinson. And again, movement before the ball is snapped. Grambling pointing over towards the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M.
It looked like it was Jeffrey Johnson, the left guard, that may have jumped a little too soon. Yep, with Alabama A&M backing up, that's unlikely the situation. Actually, it's not. It's going to be on Grambling.
Defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Jimmy Zachary, Opelousas, Louisiana.
That is now the 21st penalty in this game. Grambling has been whistled 11 times. Alabama A&M, 10 penalties. We expected it.
A lot of penalties.
Yeah, this is what their history shows. Third down and 12. Luke gets it out. Pass is complete. Coming out of the backfield, Tamar Scott gets enough for the 1st down for Alabama A&M. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on after the play, and we're going to have another personal foul called against either the Bulldogs or the Tigers. Not sure who they actually saw. Could be called on either team.
Yeah, calling on both of them. Call it on both, offset, take the result of the play, and let's move forward.
What a 3rd quarter for Grambling. 4 touchdowns. None of them taking more than a minute 17. Bruce Eugene, the numbers he has been putting up, absolutely phenomenal. He has been as advertised. The Tigers now with 500 yards of total offense.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 99 in the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down for Alabama A&M. That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Jimmy Zachary called for that personal foul, and penalties really the only thing that Melvin Spears' team had going wrong in the 3rd quarter. The offense led by Bruce Eugene, they've been dominant through 3 quarters. Welcome back, everyone. We are here in Birmingham, Alabama. So much history in this fantastic city, and, well, a lot of history being set on this field today. Legion Field has been around since the 1920s. And very infrequently have there been offensive performances that have been on par with what Bruce Eugene has dealt through the first 3 quarters. And the pass is intercepted. Kelsey Luke has his pass picked off by Tyrone King. Turnover gives it right back over to the Grambling Tigers. Well, Grambling is less than 15 minutes away from winning another SWAC championship. They've already won 20 SWAC championships in their illustrious history. Alongside Andre Ware, with Jay Walker, I'm Eric Collins. Bruce Eugene, he's been the real story in this game. The numbers, they do not lie. 397 yards, 5 touchdown strikes, and believe it or not, this isn't even the best championship game that he's ever played. 2002 against Alabama A&M, all he did was throw for 413 yards, so he's still below that.
I tell you what, he is putting on a show this afternoon.
Flags fly again. Pass is complete. Clyde Edwards has it. We shall see whether or not it holds up. Would be a gain of 16. You would think with all the flags that it would disrupt the rhythm of the offense, but it doesn't seem to bother Eugene and Grambling at all.
Yeah, they just plug it in an electric socket and charge it up and come right back after the penalty. So, I mean, they are as high-powered as you could ask for. Look at that, 139 touchdown passes for his career. Ties a 1AA and SWAC record. I mean, he is.
Well, you know whose record he tied?
Satellite.
Willie Totten. Willie Totten is in the building, and he probably walked in here thinking that his record was safe. Up 5 touchdowns on Bruce Eugene, but nothing safe the way that Bruce is playing today.
I tell you, he is having fun throwing the football around.
Pass is complete again. Edwards has it. And only for a couple of yards, out to the 4-yard line.
Clyde Edwards out of Houston, Texas. Hometown guy, Westbury High School. Know where it's located.
Pretty good football there?
Yeah, pretty good football in Westbury. There's not bad football in Houston. Some of the, you talk about Texas high school football, some of the toughest thing is to get out of the area, the region, because they're so competitive just in the region and the area.
Another completion to Edwards.
You get out of the region, you got a layup.
Texas football.
The rumor is, you play so competitive around the city of Houston that once you get out, you're so beaten up. We're beating on each other that you go out west to play in the state championship against those San Antonio teams.
Gene throws it incomplete.
You don't finish strong. Everybody on your team is beaten up.
That's what the people in Houston say when they're licking their wounds. There's Melvin Spears. His team is up by 33 points.
You talk about the success of this football team offensively. 8 different receivers have caught touchdown passes from Bruce Eugene throughout this year, and that's spreading the wealth around pretty good when you can get 8 guys involved. They check a lot of different receivers in the football game, but boy, all of them playing at a super high level.
Once again, they spread the field. 4 receivers. Eugene steps up, just throws it away down the left sideline.
Boy, he thought his receiver, Henry Tolbert, was going to keep going on through, and actually Henry Tolbert hooked it up along the sideline. A little miscommunication, and there hadn't been a whole lot of them between quarterback and receiver, between Henry Tolbert and Bruce Eugene.
Now the play call for Melvin Spears' team here in the second half. 2 running plays, 17 passes.
You think he'll go for it if they get to 4th down?
No. Third down, man comes free inside. Eugene steps away and throws it out of bounds. It'll be 4th down, and the punt team will have to come on for the first time today for Grambling.
Bruce Eugene limping around a little bit. He got hit on a touchdown pass, a deep touchdown pass to his receiver, Reginald Jackson, and he hadn't really been the same since. Kind of moving around a little bit slower than normal.
Tim Manuel has only been on the field once in punt formation, and they didn't punt. It was a fake punt, and they got the first down. So he has actually never punted the football today. We are already in the 4th quarter. Low line drive. Good punt. Good kick. Harold Gorman, backup quarterback. Say he's like Quicksilver. I don't understand why. Darts out to the 43-yard line, and that is where Alabama A&M will take over. 47-yard punt, 4-yard return. Tonight at 9 Eastern, ESPN Original Entertainment presents Code Breakers, an ESPN original movie that explores the notorious 1950 cheating scandal involving the West Point football team. Code Breakers, presented by Kay Jewelers, tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN, immediately following the Heisman Trophy presentation. That was back when Army was the cat's pajamas in college football. 3 national titles, 32-game winning streak. Red Blake.
So you're saying they had it going on?
Oh, yes. They had Mr. Inside, they had Mr. Outside. Pass is intercepted. Grambling with the football. Bouncing off tacklers, still on the move. And Grambling has the ball inside the 20. Tyrone King with the pick. 4th Bulldog turnover. And things are going the way of the Tiger right now.
Second pick on the part of Tyrone King in consecutive possessions. You talk about a guy that can really play the football, just a freshman, and really playing more like a senior. Guy with good size, 5'11", 185 pounds. They get some pressure on Kelsey Luke. He's trying to just force one in there. And boy, look, you see the break on the football on the part of Tyrone King. Just judges it just right, reading the eyes of the quarterback. And then here, the run after the catch. is what gets you excited about that youngster.
So Eugene back on the field. They want to throw to the end zone. Has a man. Pass is a little bit off the mark, wide out of the back of the end zone, looking for Tolbert. Jay, what's the latest on Bruce Eugene? He's hobbling around down there.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to ask him what's going on with his leg. He said he got hit on the shin early in the third quarter to start off the third quarter. I asked him, is he going to be able to tough it out? He said, the only way I'm coming out of this game is if it's a coach's decision. I'm not pulling myself out. This is the last time my fans get to see me play, and I'm going to go for the gusto. Fellas, back to you.
Thank you, Jay. There's his mom, Zena, looking on, and she doesn't want to see him hand that football off.
No, she likes seeing him sling it around a little bit. I'll tell you, I like seeing him throw it myself.
Sets the dive on the low snap.
Well, we think this is a play where Bruce Eugene gets hit early in the third quarter on that shin that Jay described. You see him right there, Lieutenant Dukes right there, low around the bottom of the legs. He gets one high, he gets hit low. Malasta Hill as well in there on the tackle, and ever since that tackle, you see him right there grimacing in a little pain. But boy, he is a tough, tough customer.
Yeah, Jay, he just seems like he's such a tough guy out there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what happened? You saw that hit there. You know, he got twisted around, but Andre, you can attest to this. When you're on the ground and it's cold, and those defensive linemen walk over you to get up, they step on your shin, and you're going to be out.
They're trying to get you or do something to you as much as they possibly can to make you feel it and just to try to get you out of any rhythm that you're in as a football player, especially when you're throwing the football around like Bruce Eugene.
On 3rd and 16, the pass is complete to Moses Harris. It's going to be short of first down yards.
You know, I've had it where, you know, you're trying to get up, you're rolling over, trying to push yourself up. The guy walk right over and just step on your hand like he's going back to the huddle. Oh, my goodness. Come on, man. Don't start the dirty tactics out here.
All right, it's 4th down and 5. They're going to go for it. They need to get to the 13-yard line.
I'm telling you, they can't kick field goals.
They're 4 for 4 on 4th downs today. That's been a real positive for them here against Alabama A&M. To the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Almost a circus grab by Tolbert, but he just can't hang on. One of the few things that's gone wrong for Grambling here in the second half. They're up by 33. Of Alabama A&M, big 11-10 remaining 4th quarter, and Bruce Eugene talking things over on the sideline, wondering what might have been. Just threw a dart into the end zone that was almost plucked out of the air by Henry Tolbert, but it is incomplete. And Tigers will have to settle for a 33-point lead. Little pitch out, some hitting still going on in this game with the carry. Tamar Scott paid for it after a gain of 8.
All right, let's take a look at Bruce Eugene and just watch the eyes right here. Gonna take the safety right away with his eyes going out wide and moving the safety, and then all of a sudden right into your vision he lets one go as he sees Tolbert clear the linebacker. Boy, that is executing at the highest level, and then he makes it look so easy, just kind of playing with you with his eyes, moving the safety out wide. Boy, he wants it. He wants to put the football in the end zone. Having fun.
2nd down and 2, Alabama A&M. They have had a sensational season themselves. They've won 6 consecutive games. They've won 9 games for the first time in school history. Tamar Scott, 2nd consecutive carry, and he'll pick up the first down with a gain of 7. 2 real positive carries for Scott and the Bulldogs here on this drive. Gain of 8, now gain of 7.
Tell you what, this is a young Alabama A&M football team. Talk about Nick Luke, just a junior. Kelsey Luke, who solidified the position at quarterback for Coach Anthony Jones. And then a young defense, only no seniors on the offensive line. The only senior in the starting lineup on offense, Timothy Robinson, and they're going to lose him as a receiver, but they're going to be pretty good for a while over at Alabama A&M.
Luke throws. There is that senior, Timothy Robinson. Has it bounce off the shoulder pads. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Greg Fassett in coverage there and shows up just in time. But I'll tell you, that's one that Timothy Robinson wishes he would have had. That's not catching it like a senior. You don't let it get to your shoulder pads or it's going to bounce off. Bands continuing the battle. That's long. That That battle's not over yet. Long from being over.
This isn't the end of the season for Alabama A&M's fans. They have plans for the next couple of weeks. Second down and 10. Inside handoff. Give is the fullback. Jaquez Payant is stopped at the line of scrimmage. To Alabama A&M, they have the distinction. Their team, the marching maroon and white, they're going to actually perform in the Tournament of Roses parade before the Rose Bowl. There will be just 3 universities who will send their bands out to the Tournament of Roses parade. The Texas Longhorns, the USC Trojans, of course, they're playing in the Rose Bowl, but then invited Alabama A&M.
Beautiful. Good reward for a good season. Band gets to continue it on through the new year. It's good stuff.
3rd down and 12. Bulldogs just trying to stay on the field. Offense. Short pass. You have to run for it. Neymar Scott is brought down by a host of Grambling Tigers short of the 40-yard line. They'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, picks up a pretty big chunk of it, and they've got to go for it here. So you just want to pick up about half of it, or as much as you can, to get yourself in a manageable down and distance on 4th down. Looks like maybe trotting the punter out. It's a sign of waving the white flag.
Anthony Jones sends out the punting team on a 4th down and 4, deep in their own territory.
Fake, maybe?
I think they're going to punt it away.
You sure?
Yeah. Jose Osorio kicks it away. It bounces at the 35, and it's picked up on a bounce. Cornelius Mackey changes direction a couple of times and gets it out to the 39-yard line. That is where Grambling will take over, up 39-6. We've seen it all here at Legion Field this afternoon. Grambling State on top of Alabama A&M, 39-6. Grambling trying to win their 21st SWAC championship. 1st down and 10. Bruce Eugene still out of the shotgun with 5 receivers in the game. Throws, right side, pass is complete. That's Clyde Edwards once again, who picks up 8 yards on 1st down. Go down to the field, and Jay, what's going on, Jay?
We talked earlier about Bruce Eugene not being a finalist for the Walter Payton Award. Well, here's a little FYI for you to know your information. The 3 awards given out in postseason tour for outstanding play or coaching are all named after members that played at historically black colleges. The Coach of the Year is the Eddie Robinson Award. The Payton Award is named after Walter Payton, who played here in the SWAC Conference. And the Defensive Player of the Year is the Buck Buchanan Award, given out to another former Grambling man, Buck Buchanan, NFL Hall of Famer. So, little interesting tidbit, all 3 1AA awards, the namesakes came from the SWAC Conference.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Jay. And Buck Buchanan, he's got some history here in Birmingham. Yep. He is from the Birmingham area, and he went to Parker High School, where so many of these Grambling Tigers went, just about 3 blocks away from Legion Field.
I'll tell you what, that man right there, he's tuned into Parker High School. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, mentioned the fact that he'll be I guess next week down here to recruit the area, and he's going to make sure with 8 guys on the roster from Parker, he'll be over there next week.
Pass is complete. Big gainer, George Piggott. Another catch for him. Keep talking about Parker High School. There it is over yonder. It's that gray building just off to the left-hand side of the street, under construction, part of it. But Parker High School has been an institution here in downtown Birmingham for years, and Grambling has 8 players that hail from Parker High School, including 4 starters, 2 on offense, 2 on defense. So it must be a real thrill to play a championship game just 3 blocks away from your high school.
And one of those guys is Xavier Jackson, a freshman right out of Parker High School, and they really, really expect big, big things from Xavier Jackson.
There's the center, Mr. Parker, Tavares Cockrell. Knows a thing or 2 about Birmingham. He's probably been to Dreamland a number of different times.
Yeah, he'd get there and sleep. Wake up and point you to dreamland.
I do want to talk about this. Bruce Eugene, he's had a fantastic day. He's not calling the plays, but he's still out there in shotgun with 5 receivers in the game, up by 33.
Game is well in hand. Bruce Eugene should take his ovation and celebrate his Grambling State career and should not be in a football game at this point in time.
This is a handoff, one of the few running plays we've seen in the second half. On the carry, that's Landry Carter.
You know, we got accused back in '89 on a lot of occasions of putting a lot of points on the board against schools, but you know, to Coach Jenkins' credit and Coach Pardee, I was on the sideline after the third quarter with the exception of 2 football games, Texas A&M and Arkansas. The only time I ever saw the fourth quarter in a football game in college.
They've only run the football 3 times here in the second half. Flag flies, pass is incomplete, batted around inside the 10-yard line.
So I say all that to say, get the man out of the football game. You know, I'll tell you, we talked about it earlier too, that you know, Bruce Eugene, you got to start taking shots at you. When they feel like you're going to run you're running the score up, they start taking shots at you. You get hit later and later. Brandon Landers, I'm sorry, is the guy they wanted to redshirt this year. He's the heir apparent to Bruce Eugene.
Penalty goes against Alabama A&M. Melvin Spears still full of intensity on that sideline.
Yeah, they really like Brandon Landers out of Monroe, Louisiana, Carroll High School. Said that if something were to happen to Bruce Eugene in this football game, Larry Curligan, the backup quarterback, would come in. But it's kind of only a name only. That young man, Brandon Landers, is going to be he's going to have the first shot at it for the Grambling State Tigers when they kick off the season in 2006.
Eugene again with time. Throws it in the end zone. Has a man, it's knocked away. Good defensive play is made. The pass is intended for Henry Tolbert, but it is knocked away at the last moment. Johnny Baldwin ranging far from his linebacker spot to make the play.
You know, we talked, you know, it said if it was early enough in this football game that you know, Brandon Landers, they would take the red shirt off him in this football game if things happened early enough where Bruce Eugene had to leave the football game. I said, well, why would you do that? He said, hey, we came here to win the championship. We don't know how many chances we're going to get to win the championship. We feel like Brandon Landers, if things didn't go well enough in the football game with Larry Curligan, we would come in with Brandon Landers, take the red shirt off him because we know that he can execute the offense.
Jay, you have a little bit more on Brandon Landers?
Doing it sort of as a favor to Brandon Landers. I mean, last year Bruce Eugene was established as the man up for the Peyton Award and all the hype that you get when you're a senior All-American, but in the first game of the year he went down with an injury. Landers had to come in there when he was expected to redshirt as a true high school freshman coming out, and he was a college freshman, so he came in, answered the call, took some shots, and they said any chance we get to get your year back, we'll do that for you, and I think they're going to get the job accomplished.
He's going to get the first crack at it. He'll go into spring practice as the starter. He'll compete with Larry Curligan, but you know, right now it's Brandon Landers and his job to lose.
Henry Tolbert able to get off to the side of the field. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 along the 21-yard line. Again, a lot of wide receivers in the game for Grambling. They're up 33 points, and Bruce Eugene working out of that shotgun.
Well, you kind of got to call it what it is right now. I mean, you got Bruce Eugene still in the football game. They're throwing for the end zone. The game is well in hand with a 33-point lead. And you got to call it running up the score. And you just got to call it. There's no purpose and no rhyme or reason why Bruce Eugene should still be in this football game.
Maybe there is thinking on the sideline that because the Black College National Championship is decided in a poll.
Well, 33 points isn't enough. I mean, your only loss on the season was to a 1A football team on the road at Washington State. You basically blew out everybody along the way. And you have a 33-point lead with just over 5 minutes left in this ball game. You got your ace still in there throwing strikes. He should be on the sideline.
3rd down and 10. Throws another strike. It is caught close to the 15-yard line. Catch is made by Clyde Edwards. That's going to be close to a first down.
See, and this is the stuff that you get when you continue to do that. You get stuff like this when you leave guys in the football game and you are intentionally trying to run the score up.
Melvin Spears wants to call timeout. Maybe get a hold, rein this game back in. Melvin Spears has the SWAC championship well in hand, up 39-6. He just called timeout, making sure that his team keeps their emotions in check. Anthony Jones, his Bulldogs of Alabama A&M, they've had a fantastic season, 9-2 on the year, winning the SWAC East with a 7-2 mark. They're on a 6-game winning streak, but right now they're having a real difficult time against Grambling, and Grambling continues to throw for the end zone. And Jay, you have a thought of why possibly they're still trying to get touchdowns through the air.
Yeah, they actually just announced it over the stadium PA system here that he needs one more touchdown pass to break the record with Willie Totten, who we interviewed earlier in this broadcast, for the NCAA career touchdown record. And he also needs one more touchdown to set a single season SWAC touchdown record, which has been standing since 1984 at 56. So they're going for the record book right now, and that might have been one of the reasons why the timeout was called. I know they had a little melee on the field, but they might have called timeout to get the right plays in order too. But, you know, one thing about it, I'll tell everybody this, the same things that make you laugh will make you cry. You may not have Bruce Eugene 2 or 3 years from now.
And somebody's going to remember it. Absolutely. I tell you what, it puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth. It puts a bad taste in my mouth when he's already in the record books. And what's wrong with being tied with a guy? Why do you have to break it? And especially in this manner where you're rubbing it in the face of college kids. I mean, it's amazing to me that Bruce Eugene is still on the football field.
First down at 10. Ball on the 12-yard line. Eugene wants to throw. Has a man. And he doesn't get his touchdown. Henry Tolbert back on the field. Drops what would have been a sure touchdown toss. We had a couple of ejections. Guys get too physical on the field. For Alabama A&M, Jonathan McConico was ejected, and for Grambling, that's Reginald Jackson.
Yeah, you just get all the extracurricular stuff when guys feel like you're running it up on them. Game is well in hand, 33-point margin.
2nd and 10, and there's his touchdown. So Bruce Eugene is the new all-time Division I AA touchdown pass leader. He passes Willie Totten, so he is now the SWAC leader and the Division I AA national leader. So Grambling now on top of Alabama A&M by a 45-6 score. And they fake the extra point. And they do not get it. So Grambling will have to settle for a 39-point lead. Bruce Eugene and the Grambling Tigers ahead 45-6. Henry Tolbert now with 4 touchdown catches.
I would take a look at the Bruce Eugene touchdown pass here. Just Tolbert's going to come wide open. I mean, just in space, in between zone coverage. And boy, it's just a nice little flip, a little throw, and a little catch. We can hopefully, now that the record is in hand, look for Larry Culligan to come into the football game for Bruce Eugene. We'll give it a standing ovation. Watch our next guy.
The Grambling Tigers have had fantastic names. play in their program over the years. Charlie Joyner, Buck Buchanan. But Bruce Eugene, in terms of quarterback play, is going to hold virtually every one of the passing records.
I tell you, it's been a fabulous, fabulous career for Bruce Eugene.
Bouncing kickoff, picked up at the 5-yard line. And down at the 26-yard line, Alabama A&M, they will start there after the return by Stephon Tucker. Tonight at 8 Eastern time, college football's most prestigious award is handed out on ESPN. Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Capital One. Tonight at 8 Eastern, followed by the premiere of Codebreakers. A lot of thoughts that it's Reggie Bush's trophy to take home, but it's still fun to watch just to see the raw emotion when everything is announced.
You know, you never know until it's announced. And you're just kind of sitting on pins and needles, and you really don't know. Everybody, you know, you don't know how a guy votes. And that's why it's such drama and build-up before.
First down carry. Picks up a couple of yards for Alabama A&M.
You ever been in one of those situations where you thought something was a slam dunk and it didn't work out that way?
Sure.
Yeah. Tune in tonight.
You know something we don't know.
No. I don't know.
Friend. Okay.
I don't know anything. I'm serious. I don't know anything. But I tell you, it's never a slam dunk. When you think it's a slam dunk, that's when you get thrown the curveball. You're thinking, hey, I'm waiting. I'm going to sit on this fastball. And all of a sudden, he throws you the off-speed pitch. You're swinging way ahead of time.
If history shows us anything, it's been a quarterback's award to win over the last number of years. Last year was headliner. The year before was Jason White.
I did vote for Charles Woodson the year he won it as a defensive back. So
Nick Luke with that carry. He is pushed down after a gain of 13 yards. Alabama A&M, they have been this SWAC championship game on 3 occasions now. 2000, 2002, and 2005. Each and every time they've had to play the Tigers of Grambling, and each time Grambling has took it to them.
They own them right now. Because this is a young Alabama A&M football team. They will be back next year. Quarterback Kelsey Luke is just a sophomore. They only start one senior on offense. You look at the defensive side of the football, Fred Solomon is the only senior starter along with Corey Harden. There are actually 2 starters on the defensive side of the football that are seniors. So they've got a lot of talent coming back with the exception of 3 guys total on offense and defense. So look for this Alabama A&M team to make some noise next year.
Another carry, Nick Luke right up the gut. Short gain for the junior, the transfer from University of Alabama, just up the road in Tuscaloosa. There's Grambling, the Tigers.
Yep.
Getting ready to celebrate SWAC championship number 21.
Now you're talking about seniors. That's a fine shot there. Seniors playing probably the last game of football, and that's the realization that you come to when you're involved in college sports. You reach the end of your senior season.
2nd and 8. And the carry goes to Nick Luke, and he picks up a couple of more. And Jay Walker is standing by with some SWAC royalty. Jack, who are you with?
I like that term, SWAC royalty. Commissioner Robert Vowles, you're basically our host here for the weekend. Another successful SWAC championship game.
Absolutely, a 2005 SWAC championship. Football season is nearing to an end, but we have a champion in Grambling, and we're going to move forward to 06.
When you talk about this, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that a lot of teams, nobody from your conference can go to the 1AA playoffs. Have there ever been any hint on possibly allowing some teams to become playoff eligible?
Well, I mean, technically we can still have one, but because we have the Bayou and the Turkey Day Classic that begin after the playoffs, it's going to be a tough challenge for us to do that.
When you talk about a guy like Bruce Eugene who sets all his career marks, got to be good for the conference.
I mean, huge. The exposure, the branding. Bruce Eugene has been the epitome of SWAC football.
Commissioner Vowles, thanks for all the hospitality here in Birmingham, Alabama.
Always good seeing you. You know that, don't you?
Take care. Right, fellas, back to you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. I tell you, I talked to Coach Melvin Spears. He talked about hitting the recruiting trail here in Alabama and then you know, some other states. He gets around. I mean, they get kids from everywhere. You look on the roster there from Mississippi. You talk about all over Louisiana, Dallas, Texas. Gets down into Texas. Boy, he's got a busy itinerary coming up. But I tell you, he leaves no stone unturned in terms of finding fine young men to come into that Grambling State football program and perform.
Clock continues to move as Travis O'Neal with that carry. Well, this is history for Melvin Spears. This will be his first SWAC championship. He took over 2 years ago, replacing Doug Williams, who left to take a front office spot with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So only 3 men have ever won SWAC championships at Grambling. Of course, Eddie Robinson won a bushelful. And then Doug Williams, longtime great quarterback, won his share.
Well,
Melvin Spears.
Talking to Melvin Spears, he feels like, you know, you're going to be judged on championships, not, you know, how many 8 or 9 win seasons you can put together, and you're judged on championships. And when you get here, you exhaust everything you have to win the football game because you don't know when you're going to come back. But he will spend time building. Brandon Landers and Larry Kerrigan will go at it in the spring. Landers will go in as the 1A part of that quarterback duel. But, you know, there will be some other talented youngsters added to this Grambling State football program. And that man right there will lead them in a very positive way.
Yeah, they're getting ready with the Gatorade shower. He's got a nice jacket on. I don't think he wanted to get that
don't
too
ruin
wet.
my good stuff, man. My nice jacket, my nice suit.
3rd down and 2. Luke wants to throw. Pass is incomplete at the feet of Tim Robinson, playing his last couple of snaps as a college player. Tim Robinson, one of the few seniors on offense.
They're loading up for coach anyway. I mean, you talk about, hey, exhaust everything you have. Well, you know, we get to reward ourselves a little bit when this thing is final.
Fumble on 4th down, and Grambling is going to recover. And that's going to do it for Alabama A&M and their chances to pick up another score against the Grambling Tiger defense. Grambling, they outscore Alabama A&M 33-0 in the second half. And Bruce Eugene's going to go out and take the final couple of snaps of his college career. And you'd imagine he'd just take a knee, and Evan will be on their way. Congratulations to Bruce Eugene. The numbers speak for themselves. 472 passing yards. He was as advertised, an electric performer.
Better than advertised. You talk about the anticipation that you have to have as a quarterback. Well, Bruce Eugene has it. He sees receivers coming open before they actually plant the foot to make a break, and the ball is in the air. And somebody got the Gatorade bath.
They got the Gatorade and the bucket. They clubbed him over the head with it.
They're going to need the trainers down there.
And Bruce Eugene takes a knee. And congratulations to the Grambling State Tigers. They win 45-6. That is their 21st SWAC championship. And Grambling now, they just need to wait for the final polls to come out, and quite possibly they can pick up their 13th Black College National Championship. It's between them and Hampton.
Coaches meet, good exchange.
So, once again, our final score, 45-6. Grambling wins the 2005 SWAC Football Championship. Coming up next on ESPN Classic, it's Who's Number One? The most memorable Masters moment. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jay Walker, for Andre Ware, and our entire crew, I'm Eric Collins saying good night, everybody, from Birmingham, Alabama. Sure hope you enjoyed it.